All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Hour one, Jon and Jim. The band is back together here.
Oh, yeah, we're back.
First of all, this is where we need to start the show. And we have a very good show, by the way, lined up today. We're going to talk to Mike Ferrin as MLB free agency has been underway for an hour. So the quiet period was 5 days. It's over. Mike Ferrin, MLB Network Radio. What are the Padres' needs? We'll get into them momentarily, and he'll join us as well at 4 p.m. Then Aaron Torres, who is an amazing voice on college basketball. If you're a college basketball fan like myself, you may have realized that the season has started today.
Did you sleep last night knowing that was going to happen?
I did.
Okay.
But did I turn on the first game at 11 a.m. IUPUI? Yeah, I did. I did turn it on.
Of course you did.
I did turn it on. It was actually 8 a.m. Pacific. Yeah, I did.
Nice.
On ESPN Plus. It might not have been IUPUI, but someone like that.
Good for you.
Aaron Torres, great voice on college hoops. Aztecs get underway on Wednesday against UCSD. Should be a good game. We have tickets to give away for San Diego State UCSD, and Aaron Torres will join us coming up at 4:30. Wayne McKinney III will join us tomorrow. By the way, USD transfer. It gets confusing, but Wayne McKinney, San Diego State transfer, will join us tomorrow at 3:30 p.m. Before we go anywhere, you and Brent did an incredible, amazing job. Like, this might be the most praise I will ever heap on both of you.
Yeah, I can tell.
So after the Dodgers won the World Series, which is now, it just happened.
It's over.
We'll talk. They won the World Series, fair and square.
Yeah.
They won the World Series.
Congrats. Whatever.
They did. And we'll get into it over the offseason. They won the World Series. But after they won the World Series, you and I are texting, and we're both like, this is a disaster.
Right.
And then there's people in like our comments on Twitter like, you shouldn't even like mention the World Series tomorrow, but we're like kind of joking. Mm-hmm. And then I think you were the first to say, like, I don't even want to mention the Dodgers tomorrow. And I'm like, haha. You're going to have to. It's the World Series. Right. And then I all of a sudden got all behind it. I was like upstairs folding laundry. I'm like, yeah, like, screw it.
I blame you for this one.
So I'm like, Jim, I am behind you 100%. Do not mention the Dodgers or the World Series one time for 3 hours until your final item of the back page. And by golly, I don't know if anyone says that, you actually were able to do it. This is the end of Jon and Jim on Friday. I was in Boise. Jim was with Brent.
Thursday. There was no show on Friday.
On Thursday. Yeah. They had gone 2 hours and 55 minutes without mentioning.
Maybe longer than that, 2:57.
Without mentioning the Dodgers winning their first legit World Series since 1998 or 88, since they didn't win it in 98.
That was the Yankees in 98 over the Padres.
1968 or whatever. This was the first mention of the Dodgers Thursday.
All right, that's going to do it. Actually, wait, hold on. We did not talk about one thing today. Oh, yeah, that's right. The Dodgers won their first legit World Series since 1988. All right, that's going to do it for Jon and Jim. We'll talk to you on Monday. Sean Lewis Coaching Show coming up next. Stay with us right here on San Diego Sports 760. Have a great Halloween, everybody. Slow clap.
That was really well done. How you did that. And I listened for probably 90 minutes. You had me on for 10, but I listened to like the first hour or so of the show. I wasn't envious of you. I don't even know what you were talking about, like free agency, and dude, you talked about the Aztecs men's basketball exhibition game.
So when the Dodgers won the World Series on Wednesday night, were you sitting there? And after we talked and everything about this, like this bit that I was going to do,
I was laughing at your plight.
You were very happy, weren't you?
I wasn't happy they won the World Series, but I was happy I didn't have to do the show.
That was what I mean. Is like you were happy.
Oh my gosh, I wanted nothing to do with that show.
And not only
Especially
did I have,
the way the game ended.
Not only did I have to do a solo show after the Dodgers just won their first legit World Series since 1988, but it was on Halloween.
Right, you were dressed up like a robo-ump.
I had a cardboard box on my head.
Right.
It was Halloween. I dressed up with a cardboard box on my head because I was a robot ump. And I we did 3 hours of no mention of the Dodgers. Zero. Like, I'm not kidding you. Like, there was only one mention of the word Dodgers on the show before that. And
it was Chris Hodge.
Chris Hodge. He didn't mention the World Series. He just mentioned free agency, and he said the Dodgers. That was it. That was the only time on the entire show that me, Brent, guests, anybody said the name Dodgers.
It should be on Awful Announcing. There's a website that like tracks this type of thing, and they should have done a call out for San Diego Sports Talk Show doesn't mention the Dodgers winning the World Series. the day after the Dodgers won the World Series. And here's the part why I didn't want to be on the show.
It was so hard to do.
Here's why I didn't want to be on the show. If the Dodgers would have won that game 8-0, and you knew all along they hit a grand slam in the first inning, and they just outright like overran the Yankees in Game 5, kind of like what they did to the Padres in Game 4, and then ultimately the Padres weren't really in Game 5 either. But the fact that the Yankees handed the Dodgers the World Series on a silver platter with among the worst innings you've ever seen in your lifetime. That Lower Merion baseball wasn't having innings like that when I was there.
Me, you, and Brent could have made those plays.
I mean, the Judge play, the not covering first, or not getting over to first play, the ground ball to short. I mean, if you're a Yankee fan, and truthfully, maybe if you're a Padre fan, those are the type of plays that are running over and over and over again in your mind. I couldn't deal with that game. The way that played out, and again, if they won 8-0, if it was 5-1, I probably could have wrapped my arms around it. The fact that it was handed to them on a silver platter like that was the part that I wanted nothing to talk about.
Dude.
Now, to your credit, you didn't talk about it one time.
Not once. I opened the show with Halloween talk, and I went right into
there was a lot of Halloween
exhibition game that the Aztecs had the night before.
Yeah, I remember. I was listening.
It was man, was it tough to do.
The best part was all the Dodger trolls that showed up on chat.
Yeah.
Were so mad that nobody would acknowledge them.
No, nobody.
They're like a little kid to where if you ever done that thing where like the little kid be standing next to you, like, hey, where's Billy at? And he's like, I'm right here. Look at me.
And you just don't
for
acknowledge.
Like an hour and a half. They're just like, hey, we won the World Series. Hey, why aren't you talking about us? This is why San Diego will never win anything.
And we'll move on, but yes. Are we petty a-holes? Absolutely, we are.
That's fine, though.
I don't care.
It's our show. It's not theirs.
Am I a petty person?
Yes, you are.
Yes, I am. So will I act accordingly? Yes, I will. And do I acknowledge that they won their first legit World Series since 1988? Absolutely, I do. But that's my choice to do whatever I want on the
100%.
show. And I didn't mention the Dodgers once. And now we move on, and now we're in free agency, thankfully, and now we can start talking about stuff that actually matters around here, which is what are the Padres going to do, and how are they going to get better so they can get over that hump next year?
All right, so obviously, if you want to weigh in, you can win Cindy, or what's her name? Cindy Lauper tickets. So free agency is underway. What should be the Padres' first move? Hit us up on the talkback mic. We'll play back your responses later on this hour. Open the iHeartRadio app, search for San Diego Sports 760, hit the microphone. You can leave a 30-second talkback. What should the Padres' first move be? Someone that leaves a talkback will also win Cindy Lauper tickets Wednesday, November 20th at Viejas Arena. The girls just want to have fun tour here at Viejas Arena. But hit us up with the talkback mic. What should the Padres' first order of business be? Now, the Padres didn't issue qualifying offers to two critical players from this past year. One, Jurickson Profar, who, of course, had a career year, right? And a lot of Padres fans are clamoring over the idea of him returning. Makes a lot of sense. Put together a very nice year. The other player that is now a free agent they did not issue a qualifying offer to is Ha-Seong Kim, who missed the last month of the season or more, had the injury, and is a free agent as well. So Now, AJ Preller expressed interest in bringing both of these players back, potentially. To me, it's not even close. It's not even close. If you could only bring one of these two players back, and you could put this on the talkback mic as well. If it's Profar or Kim, this to me is not even close. You know where I'm going. It has to be Jurickson Profar. Ha-Seong Kim had some nice time here. He's not worth overpaying for. He's not worth 3, 4, 5 years. He's not worth 15 or 20 million a year. It's a business. I'm sorry to put it that bluntly. It's just true. Jurickson Profar is much more manageable to me. You don't need to give him a 4 or 5 year deal, Jim. He doesn't need to make $15 or $20 million. You could argue he's more important to the winning culture in the clubhouse. If I'm only bringing back one, neither were offered the qualifying offer, I'm bringing back Jurickson Profar.
So right now at Fangraphs, talking about the top 50 free agents, Jurickson Profar is number 22 on the list.
Yeah, makes sense.
They have projected his contract to be around 3 years, $45 million.
Okay.
So that's about $15 million a year.
That's high. That's high.
That's high.
Padres aren't going to pay that.
That's high. That's also probably a reason why you didn't offer him a qualifying offer, because the qualifying offer
was a big number.
Was going to be a big one. And I don't know if any team's going to match that. So then Profar could have just accepted that. And then you're paying Profar 1 year for like
$15 million,
15 to 18 million.
and you're over the CBT and you have no moves to make.
Right. So are you willing to pay Profar what the numbers say he should get? Or are you going to try to work out something lower than that? Or is another team going to swoop in and say, oh, the Padres didn't offer a qualifying offer for Profar, then we don't have to worry about, anything here as far as draft compensation goes. So boom, we're right in there and we're going to swoop in on Profar.
The Padres have multiple needs, and we've gone through their payroll issues, and you can't afford to pay Jurickson Profar $45 million, just like you can't afford to pay Ha-Seong Kim, whatever it's going to say on that Fangraphs website as well, which is what?
So he is ranked as the 9th best position player free agent.
Position player free agent, okay.
And the average for him is 4 years, $18.5 million per year.
No chance in hell. Best of luck in your next stop. I'm not even going to make an offer to Ha-Seong Kim if it's anywhere in the neighborhood of 4 years, $72 million. So, or even more. I'm not even going to make an offer. With Jurickson Profar, there's a couple of things that work in your advantage. His best years have happened here.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'm not saying it's a true hometown discount, but you're coming off a year in which you made $1 million plus incentives. You're going to get multiple years. He should. Maybe he even gets a third year. But it's going to take 2 to tango. You're going to have to compromise. There's no way the Padres are paying him $45 million. Would you agree? 3 years, $45 million seems extreme.
I don't see it.
But is anyone paying him 3 years, $45 million?
That's the question, and I don't think anybody is.
Neither do I.
I think teams are way more willing to give Ha-Seong Kim money than Jurickson Profar. Because Ha-Seong Kim, while Profar put up the better year and the better numbers, Kim's more valuable, in my opinion.
Kim's more valuable for this team moving forward because the position in which he plays, or just he provides more value on field?
I meant he's more valuable on the open market.
Oh, more valuable in that way. Yeah, he's younger.
He's younger, multiple positions, a Gold Glover.
Right.
He's a guy that you can plug and play at shortstop or second base right away. Jurickson Profar, if you want to put him in the outfield, you can, because that's where he's been playing when he was here in San Diego. But then you're expecting to get like a 24 homer, 80 RBI, 820 OPS season from him at a corner outfield spot. And I don't think that's going to happen. Love Profar. Absolutely love Profar. I want him to return to San Diego at the right price. I want Kim to return to San Diego at the right price too. But the likelihood of that happening, it's not very high.
I think the ship sails on Kim. Here's a guy with a career 700 on base plus slugging that has done most of his damage with the metrics defensively. There's no world where you're paying him anywhere near $18 million per year. Is there a world in which you're paying Jurickson Profar double-digit millions per year? 10 million plus per year? Yeah, I think there is. I think if you pay him 2 years, 20, if you pay him 3 years, 30, I think maybe something like that's going to make sense. But there's no way that Ha-Seong Kim's coming back for $70 or $80 million. So we're going to continue this conversation on the other side. We want to hear from you as well. What should be the Padres' first order of business? Free agency now underway. Hit us up on the talkback mic. Open the free iHeartRadio app. Search for San Diego Sports 760. Leave up to a 30-second talkback. We'll play your responses coming up later this hour. What should A.J. Preller be seeking with free agency now underway? How much movement do they have because of their payroll heading in to 2025? We'll talk about it. Mike Ferrin, MLB Network Radio, will join us at 4 p.m. with more on that as well. It's Jon and Jim. What should the Padres' first order of business be? Free agency now underway. Hit us up with the talkback mic. Open the iHeartRadio app, search for San Diego Sports 760. Hit the microphone. You can leave up to a 30-second talkback. We'll play those coming up in about 10 minutes. Your chance also by leaving a talkback to win Sydney Lauper tickets Wednesday, November 20th at the House Arena. Mike Ferrin will join us at 4 p.m. MLB Network Radio. Aaron Torres will join us at 4:30. So we're talking about some of the returnees possibly, right, guys, here in 2024. Profar, Ha-Seong Kim, talked about Higgy, catcher as well. Even retaining some of these pieces, like the price tag's going up. Profar, we just talked about it. Even if it's $10 million, the price is going way up. Kim, even if it's making up $15 million, the price tag's going up. Higashioka, same thing, price tag's going up. Can they even afford to do these minor moves moving forward or not? Like, how much wiggle room do they have with free agency now underway?
Can I also mention here that there's one contract that we haven't talked about with the Padres, okay? And it kind of got swept under the rug, or at least under the radar this past weekend. You know, the Kim situation, declining the Padres option, he became a free agent. But there's one player that I'm like, oh, that's a really bad contract. And it's Wandy Peralta. They signed Wandy Peralta to a 4-year, $16.5 million contract with a player option for 2025, 2026, and 2027.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, Wandy Peralta picked up his player option for next year,
which
for
is what?
$4.25 million. Not the biggest chunk of money in the world, but also for a guy that you're not ever going to use in any high leverage situations ever, making $4.5 million the back end of your bullpen.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. He had a good year, Preller, and that's not.
I'm not saying Preller had a bad.
But that's one. If that prevents you from going out and getting jerks and Profar, I'm putting that on Katsenda. If that prevents you from keeping Kim or Higgy, I'm putting that on Katsenda. This fan base is unbelievable. There's going to be 3 million people in the stadium. They're already marketing season ticket wait lists. You may have to go over the CBT to do business the way you need to do business, which is to vie with the LA Dodgers again in 2025. I don't think Wandy Peralta should hold them back. Now, your point's valid. It's not a great contract, but it's not the worst contract like Xander.
I'm just kind of pointing out for this team needing to find any possible like amounts of money to go out and spend in free agency because they don't have unlimited funds. They're not the Mets. They're not the Dodgers. You know, these types of contracts are going to hurt them because they don't have a bunch of money to spend, and they're not going to spend a bunch of money. So if they can't bring back a guy like Higgy, or they can't bring back a guy like Profar, and Profar and Higgy go out and don't get big time contracts, then yeah, the Peralta contract sucks because maybe, you know, they could have used part of that money to go out and fill up needs on their
I hope
on the roster.
I mean, I would say that more about Xander. Like the real issue is the real money. This is like kind of saying, you know, I mean, Wandy in the grand scheme, even at $4 million, if your payroll's in the 200 range, I mean, is 2% of your overall, you know, payroll. Where Xander at 28 million or whatever it is per year,
at least
is a massive, massive, massive black hole that you're going to be dealing with for years and years and years. I can get around the 4.25. I can't get around the 28
and
per year.
And you will never get around it. You'll never get over it. But you hope that at least maybe 1 year of the next couple years, Xander has a breakout season.
And just like Wandy Peralta, it is possible. We've seen Sean Manaea bounce back. We've seen, I mean, they do have a very good pitching coach in Ruben Niebla that, I mean, it is feasible that Wandy Peralta could be better and serviceable.
Rich in the chat says the Wandy contract has Matt Carpenter vibes.
I mean, again, it's a series of moves. When I think about AJ Preller last year, if there were 20, you know, significant moves he made, I would still argue that like 17 or 18 of them were productive. Not all 20, but I think it's hard to go 20 for 20. And he had to fill out his ball. I know you're not saying, I'm just saying that contract, yeah, it's not a good contract, but it shouldn't, in my opinion, if this is a serious organization like we think they are, it shouldn't be prohibitive to hold them back from doing the work they need to do in free agency, is my point. At $4 million, because he's not even owed 26 right now.
Yeah,
27.
I agree with you.
You
I
know?
was just pointing out, like, here is a contract and here is a player that picked up his player option this past weekend. And it's just a net negative there.
Yeah, definitely.
Like this team is going to be scratching and clawing to find as much money as they possibly can to go out in free agency to fill needs. And you have another wasted contract here. I'm not saying Wandy Peralta can't give you something next year, but he's very disposable. You don't have Wandy Peralta gives you no sway either way.
Well, and you're right, and maybe he's a trade candidate as part of some type of package, but you also have the Jay Cronenworth looming out there that is an albatross of a contract. Obviously, you have the Xander contract. You have the future of Luis Ariz hanging in the balance.
Yeah.
Yes, he's arbitration eligible, but he's going to get a bump in payroll as well. The point is this, and I made this point the day the season ended, that the idea of running it back doesn't even exist. They can't afford the same roster construction they just went through because of the bumps to Profar, Kim, Ariz, Peralta, or whomever else. So they can't even afford to do it. They're going to have to get creative. Someone that you want to be here in 2025, whether it's Profar, Kim, arguably Cronenworth, whether you want him or not, one of these players, and I'm missing probably one or two, Higgy, one or two of these guys will not be here. I guarantee it. They will not be here in 2025.
And why I push back so hard on the run it back mentality is, one, you're right. They can't do it. They cannot bring Tanner Scott back. They're not bringing back Kim and Profar. I said they're not going to. Maybe they bring back one of those players. Maybe they figure out some way to do both. I don't know, but that would probably cost you Luis Ariz, because you're going to have to pay Luis Ariz a good chunk of change.
Yep.
And we've already heard from Kevin that their preference is to not have him play a 1-year deal
at 15
to 16 million.
Yep.
Not only am I against that, and it won't happen, is that they didn't make the World Series this year. They didn't even get close to the World Series this year. They collapsed against the Dodgers. They were a really good second half team. Overall, the vibes were very high. But every year in sports, basketball, baseball, football, whatever, it's really hard to replicate what you accomplished the year before the following season. Just you rarely see it happen. Now, again, does it happen in sports? Yes. Do teams win back-to-back championships? They do. The Chiefs just won back-to-back Super Bowls. Could next year the Dodgers win back-to-back World Series? Yes. But when you have what the Padres had, which they deemed and we all deemed special, a special thing that just kind of blossomed, right? And then with the heartbreak and the ending that it was, with the collapse up 2-1 against the Dodgers, do you think it's going to be easy to replicate all that the following season?
No, it's
without some
easy.
Interjection of new talent and new players, and just something has to happen. I feel like the following year to make it you need something new. You always need something new. And I feel like the running back mentality, you're not bringing anything new. You're just figuring, we'll just have the same team go back and see if they can win it again. Well, that's not going to happen, and I don't think that's good.
Yeah, and the last GM to run it back would be AJ Preller because of his creativity. And secondly, to your point, I mean, they came off an 82-win season and then lowered payroll and traded Juan Soto and then won at a higher level. So it's hard to know what the next year is going to look like. A lot of people would have told you the Padres aren't discernibly better starting 2024, yet they played a lot better in 2024. So a lot of people might say in the offseason, hey, the Padres did get better or they didn't get better. We're not going to know until they take the field. It's going to be hard to truly know what they're going to look like until they take the field, because I think a lot of people thought they knew what they looked like in 2024. A lot of people thought they weren't a team that was capable of vying for the division, contending with the Dodgers, putting them in a playoff series like that, yet they overcome odds to start the year.
And Musgrove won't be with the team next year because it was Tommy John.
Yeah, I mean, but again,
you ran it back in
last year.
You essentially ran it back in 2023, and you added. That was, what they did. They ran it back in 2023.
And how'd that work?
Exactly. They added with Bogarts, and it didn't work out well. So running it back this time with the same core and bringing back the same people that helped you get there, guys that had career years. You're basically banking on those same guys to have the same exact career years or better the following season.
Yes, but with all that being said, I would bring back Profar.
I would too.
On the other side, your talkbacks. What should the Padres' first order of business be in free agency? Open the free iHeartRadio app, search for San Diego Sports 760, leave a talkback by clicking on the microphone. You can leave up to a 30-second talkback. Do that right now. We'll play your talkbacks coming back on the other side. Plus, coming up at 4 p.m., Mike Ferrin from MLB Network Radio at 4:30 with the college basketball season underway. Aaron Torres from Fox Sports will join the show as well. It's Jon and Jim. Jim's eating Skittles.
I hate you. This update's brought to you
Taste the
by
rainbow, Jim.
Taco Bell. Free agency is underway in baseball. Ha-Seong Kim declined the Padres' mutual option, making him a free agent. Jurickson Profar is a free agent. The Padres did not offer him a qualifying offer. And Garrett Cole, who opted out the deal, has re-signed with the Yankees today for 4 years, $144 million. Moving over to other news around baseball, 4 Padres are finalists for the Silver Slugger Award this year. Luis Arraez, Manny Machado, Jurickson Profar, and Jackson Merrill. The Gordita Supreme is so back at Taco Bell in the $7 Lux Cravings box alongside the beefy 5-layer burrito. double stack taco, chips with nacho cheese sauce, and a medium drink at participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last. Drink excludes freezes, taxes extra.
You can hit us up with the talkback, Mike. What should the Padres' first order of business be in free agency? All you need to do is open the free iHeartRadio app, search for San Diego Sports 760, click on the microphone. You can leave up to a 30-second talkback. We'll play them coming up in the next 5 or 10 minutes. We do have UCSD San Diego State tickets to give away. Do we have two pairs? Two pairs. We'll do one of them during Trainwreck Radio. We'll do another this hour. So in the next 25 minutes, your chance to win tickets for opening night at Viejas Arena, San Diego State, UCSD, Wednesday. We're going to broadcast outside, Jim, 3 to 6. Jon and Jim, and then we'll have the pregame show, and then we'll have basketball.
Oh, must be nice.
Yeah, why don't you go to the game, Jim?
I'll think about it.
Okay.
Give me a pass.
I probably could. I've already put in like 10 credential requests.
Oh.
Because it was like Sammy and Mike Usher.
These people
and
they work though. Like they're working.
You're saying you're not gonna do anything?
I'm not working.
Social.
I mean, I'll do
digital.
Social. Digital?
Big digital.
Oh.
Could do some digital tomorrow. All right. Let me know.
We'll see.
Text Richard if you want to go.
I don't have his number.
Okay. All right. That's fine. Mike Ferrin's going to join us at 4 p.m. Great resource for free agency. What does he think the Padres should do with their resources? Mike Ferrin will join us at 4 p.m. Aaron Torres on college basketball, the return of college basketball. To me, it's like a mini Christmas. Maybe it's just me. But college basketball is back all night long, by the way.
It's just you.
Kristen and Jones are away. It's not just me.
I know it's not just you.
Someone on the text line or on the talkback, Mike. It's not just me.
And there
are other people excited for college basketball.
I mean, like at this very moment in time in San Diego, you might be the top of the list.
70470 started with the word team.
Like if you were anywhere close to John Fanta, you would need John Fanta takes the cake. But John Schaefer on the West Coast, I could see you as like the number one fan of like the start of college basketball season.
Watch who's Purdue play today?
I like this game.
Duke plays Maine.
Yep, that's correct. That's giving
Kansas plays Howard.
Oh, Kansas Howard.
I mean, that's hard.
The big Kansas Howard game.
You can't just drop that on me. Yes, Purdue is in the national championship game.
I just asked that because they're playing right now. That's the only active top 25 game.
Who do they play? UMKC.
No, Texas A&M, Corpus Christi.
Corpus Christi.
Okay. Well, the Aztecs
I like
play
Jim
Wednesday.
halfway through. Corpus Christi.
Yes. The Aztecs play Wednesday. We'll give away tickets coming up in the next 15 or 20 minutes for Wednesday night. Limited tickets might be available at goaztecs.com. Is there a free agent that wasn't on the Padres in 2024 that is worthy of discussing the day that free agency starts from a Padres perspective? Is there like a looming name out there? There'll be some international players. There'll be players that are posted that could come over that the Padres will absolutely be in on, will absolutely have interest in. Of course, there'll be major league free agents they'll have interest in as well that weren't on the Padres in 2024. But is there any name that jumps off the page that's reasonable, that makes sense, that fills a need that comes to mind day one or not? Doesn't have to be.
Not off the top of my head, no.
Okay, because we've gone through the Fangraphs top 50 free agents.
Like if you want to...
From the Sotos on down. Snell on down.
A guy like Nick Pivetta.
Oh, Nick Pivetta. Yeah. Former Lehigh Valley Iron Pig.
Now, he had a 4.14 ERA last year. I'm trying to look here. Luis Severino.
Yeah, sure. So like mid-tier.
I'm looking at pitching mostly.
Mid-tier rotation pieces to make up for not having Joe Musgrove.
Right.
For a year.
I mean, they
nothing's jumping off the page immediately.
No.
Okay.
Like they project Fangraphs Max Scherzer to be a 1 year, $17 million player next year.
Okay.
Charlie Morton, but he's like 41 years old.
Is he really?
Yeah. Same thing with Justin Verlander.
Jimmy Key, what is he, like 45?
Andrew Haney, Frankie Montas.
All right, so nothing. I don't think they're going to, by the way,
Trevor
do anything.
Williams,
I don't think it's going to be sexy in free agency.
Alex Cobb.
It's not going to be a big name. It's not going to be a big name. But then again, a year ago, was Jurickson Profar a big name? No.
I like Kirby Yates. He had a great year this past year. He's a free agent.
Okay.
But yeah, there's not a sexy name out there like Juan Soto or Willie
Blake
Adames or Blake Snell or there's just not Pete Alonso. There's not a sexy name that I feel like the Padres will be anywhere close to in free agency. This will have to be once again AJ Preller, kind of making chicken soup out of chicken, what?
Unless it's the international pool. Like if you can get in on the internet, like Roki Sasaki, who's a big time name that can only make a certain amount because of his age. But the problem is they've always played bridesmaid in those situations. They never land the big international player.
And you know who they're always the bridesmaid to?
Dodgers.
Yeah. So Dodgers with Ohtani and Yamamoto, the marriage sets up perfectly for Roki Sasaki to go with them. I would love if Roki Sasaki, who I know Preller loves and the organization likes a lot, they could figure something out here, but I'm not holding my breath.
All right, let's go to the talkback mic because we asked this question. What should the Padres do with free agency now underway? And again, you can open up the free iHeartRadio app, search for San Diego Sports 760, click on the microphone, leave up to a 30-second talkback. And let's play with one or two of these. Okay, thank you, Jeremy. I mean, they just had a really built-up bullpen and made it to the NLDS. So they've had strong bullpens. And you could argue they have a strong back end of the bullpen right now.
And Preller's really good at building back end of the bullpens. We've seen that time and time again. Preller find pieces for the back end of the bullpen that really perform.
Sure.
Every year, it's like, oh, he found another closer, Like, he's really good at that. That's not something I'm like super concerned with because as we've seen, and it happens around all of baseball, if you have bullpen issues, if that's like the one thing that you need at the deadline,
right,
it's not going to cost you a lot to go get bullpen arms. In this case, this past year, it kind of cost them a lot, but they also got the top bullpen pieces that were available on the market, and Jason Adam and Tanner Scott. You can rebuild a bullpen at any point in the offseason, and you can not easily rebuild it, but you can rebuild it during your season as well, especially at the trade deadline. What I'm concerned about is starting pitching, and what are they going to do at shortstop? What are they going to do in left field? Their catching spot is also a big concern of mine, just because I haven't seen anything from Luis Campusano that would give me any type of confidence that he can play 130 games next year behind the plate, because he's been given the opportunity multiple times and he's lost the opportunity every single time he's been given it. So what are they going to do with that? The back end of the bullpen, that's kind of not on the top of my list right now as far as big concerns heading into free agency for the Padres.
All right, so we just said that like Fangraphs says the top 50 free agents. MLB Trade Rumors just put out their top 50 free agents. What is the first time that the Padres come up on that list? As in, are they going to go after, according to MLB Trade Rumors, they're going after a top 5 free agent, a top 10 free agent, a top 25 free agent, a top 50 free agent. Where's the first time the Padres appear on that list? I'll share it with you on the other side. Plus, Mike Ferrin, MLB Network Radio, will join us at 4 p.m. Plus, coming up next, in our next segment, we'll give away San Diego State tickets for Wednesday night at Viejas Arena against UCSD. We have a pair of tickets to give away for the season opener. It'll be a banner-raising night. They're going to raise the Sweet 16 banner on Wednesday night. We'll give away tickets coming up next. Don't go anywhere. It's Jon and Jim. All right, Jon and Jim back with you. I'll talk about that later. Because I actually read something about. I wonder what percent of married people share their bank account with their significant other.
I don't with Aaron yet.
You've been married for 9 minutes.
True. That's true.
So you have separate accounts,
Yes.
essentially.
But
you can like see them and you could like share money or something. Because that's what I have with Kristen. Like I can move for mortgage. Hey, move money, things like that. For
we just Venmo each other.
Okay, yeah, that's similar.
But
do you want to know the answer?
Yeah, what percent of
answer?
married people share bank accounts?
43%.
I was gonna say like 50. Yeah, I was gonna say half.
Yeah, because according to Bankrate survey, 43% of married couples in the U.S. have only joint bank accounts.
Only joint. Okay.
So what we want to do is we want to start
34 have separate.
a separate account for like all the funds we got from our, like the wedding. And
You haven't done that yet? You got married in May, right?
That's true. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Only
And then-
23% have completely separate.
What are you gonna do with this money? Let's just throw it. Whatever. There's money. Okay. There's this wedding
MacBook.
money. What are you gonna do with it?
Well, as of this moment, we don't know, but we have talked about like when we go on our official honeymoon.
No. You already did that.
No, we didn't.
Yes.
No, we didn't.
You went to like
No, they
Switzerland.
just went to Italy
No.
because.
No, that wasn't official. We went because we had to go to a wedding and we were with friends the entire time. So we were never alone.
Well, when's the official honeymoon?
Next year for our 1 year anniversary, bro.
I think you have to do it within a year.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Everyone, I've very rarely heard of someone not doing a honeymoon. Now, maybe COVID would be different, but like not doing a honeymoon within a few months of their wedding.
Well, the reason why is because of our trip to Italy and Switzerland for Camille, who is one of Aaron's best friend's wedding. So that was like our, I guess, I don't even know how we're describing it, but we're not describing it as a honeymoon.
So what are you going to do? Like Poway?
Yeah, I think we're going to go Lakeside. Lakeside.
I mean, are you going to go
Spring Valley?
bigger? Are you going to go bigger than that?
Is Hawaii bigger?
No.
Okay.
But it's great.
But
Hawaii's
no.
great. It wouldn't be bigger.
But that's what we are going to do.
Okay.
And then the rest of the money we were going to save up and put it in an account and not touch it and maybe spend it when we eventually buy a house. I don't know.
But is the long-term plan or even the short-term plan, what Aaron earns and what Jim earns go into one account? So then if you had a mortgage or a rent or a this or a that, they come out of one account?
No.
Okay. That's what I was asking. We have two accounts.
Yeah, we have two accounts.
Yeah,
too.
I don't know. I make money. I spend money. Krista makes money. She spends money. She buys shoes. Who cares? I buy shoes. Who cares?
Yeah.
But
I think having like, I want my own account. She has her own account.
Right,
And then,
certain things have to be split.
yeah. And then if there's like another account that you put other money into for whatever.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it's a really good idea.
That's what we're going to do.
San Diego State UCSD tickets will give them away.
So
in
do you
5
have to
minutes.
like ask her for her half of the rent every month?
I have
She
it
asked
automated.
me.
I have
Oh,
it
okay.
automated. So it's like through Wells Fargo, the money just moves. Money moves automatically.
She just Venmos me or Venmo requests me whatever our rent is. And I just like send her the money.
Okay. So MLB trade rumors. No good segue from that.
Nope.
Speaking of money, though, they have their top 50 prospects. The first time the Padres appear in terms of, could they land this player? This is MLB trade rumors, their opinion. Good site, though. Is Jurickson Profar the 16th overall free agent for them? As you said earlier, Profar was in the 20s, maybe for Fangraphs.
26.
Okay. Well, for MLB trade rumors, they've got 3 years, $45 million, which is what Fangraphs has. And a couple of their prognosticators have the Padres in on Profar, beyond Profar. Okay. So Profar is 16th. They then go to Frankie Montas, 27th overall free agent, 2 years, $22 million. One of the prognosticators says Padres. Beyond there, Higgy, 36th. Okay. Beyond there, Kim, 43rd. And MLB trade rumors. They say 1 year, $12 million. Fangraphs said 4 years, $70 million.
So they're on the bandwagon.
But then again, he's hurt.
Yeah.
He's
going to miss probably the first couple months of the season.
Right.
I think it would make sense for Kim's camp to want to return to San Diego to rebuild his value.
Would you want to do it here, though?
But here's the issue. What if another team, and all it takes is one, says, we want him for the long haul. We don't care that he's going to be hurt for the next couple months into this year. We're willing to give him like a 3 or 4 year deal.
Here's my point on that then. To your point,
I don't know, San Francisco Giants who need a shortstop, and Jung-Hoo Lee is there, and they're basically family, and Bob Melvin loves Ha-Seong Kim.
Yeah, they were family before, and Jung-Hoo Lee went to San Francisco.
But the Padres also tried for Jung-Hoo Lee, and the Giants offered more money.
Okay, so probably at the end of the day, that's the number one factor. Here's my point. If you're the Padres, why would you sign Kim to a 1-year deal?
Why would you?
Yeah. He's going to miss how long? Months.
But
like, if anything, I'd want a multiple year deal. Why would I bring him back for 1 year if he's going to miss the first half of the year? Why would I give him the 1 year, $12 million to go miss 90 games?
He's not going to miss 90 games, you think?
I mean, Preller was the one that said May, June, July in his comments.
Okay.
He might not. I don't have an answer. But if he missed 70 games, why would I give him $12 million for 1 year?
Well, it'd be a nice pickup at the trade deadline if you get Ha-Seong Kim back.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
okay.
And especially if Xander Bogaerts struggling, you can move him back to second.
No, that's true.
You know, more options there, and it's a 1 year deal. Like,
yeah,
you know,
just I feel like if you're gonna go in on Kim, I almost want maybe multiple years because you're not going to get him for a portion of 2025.
I would like Kim on a multiple year deal. I just don't think it's happening.
Yeah, I agree.
Because, you know, what we've talked about is the situation with Xander Bogaerts is so fascinating because they made a huge deal of him moving to second base at the start of spring training last year. Yet now he's going to be your shortstop in 2025.
Right.
Like, what you had to have known that you were probably either way going to lose Ha-Seong Kim or have the potential of losing Ha-Seong Kim with no shortstop in place, especially if you're moving Jackson Merrill to the outfield.
Mm-hmm.
So this whole hoopla of Bogaerts going to second now doesn't make really any sense. It kind of just feels like a bunch of eyewash, personally, to try to show that people are willing to do things for the team, and it's about the team first and the team
but
first.
But it's an eyewash if the team. I mean, it actually kind of worked.
It worked, but
for
then
the team.
But yeah, and there was more than just that. That was the start of the domino effect of, I think, the changing of this culture, which was awful in 2023 and became really good in 2024. But that took some work. Like, you heard people in the postseason, like Jake Cronenworth, say this kind of just happened. Like, it wasn't a set thing. This was like a magically happened type of clubhouse, and the vibes and the camaraderie, like that all just kind of happened. It wasn't like a set thing. Like, okay, we're gonna from day one, this is how it's gonna be. Like, no, it took some work to get there.
Mike Ferrin, MLB Network Radio, will join us next. We promise you San Diego State UCSD tickets. Caller 7, you're going Wednesday night, Viejas Arena. It will be sold out. Banner raising night. Sweet 16 banner unveiled, 7 p.m. You can hear it right here on San Diego Sports 760. Caller 7, you're going. 877-767-4760. We have 2 free tickets. Call right now. 877-767-4760. Call right now. We have another pair next hour. Mike Ferrin joins us next.
All right, this update is brought to you by Taco Bell. Free agency is underway in baseball. First move of the day, the biggest one, Garrett Cole. He opted out of his Yankee contract. He's re-signing with the Yankees for 4 years, $144 million. Ha-Seong Kim declined the Padres mutual option over the weekend, making him a free agent today. And Jurickson Profar did not receive a qualifying offer as he becomes a free agent today as well. And for Padres, they're finalists for the Silver Slugger Award for this past year. Luis Arraez, Manny Machado, Jurickson Profar, and Jackson Merrill. The Gordita Supreme is so back at Taco Bell in the $7 Lux Cravings box alongside the beefy 5-layer burrito, double stack taco, chips with nacho cheese sauce, and medium drink at participating Taco Bell stores for limited time only while supplies last. Drink excludes freezes, taxes extra.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Hour 2, Jon and Jim. MLB free agency is underway. It's always great to connect with Mike Ferrin, friend of the show, so kind to our listeners here in San Diego. MLB Network Radio back with us on Jon and Jim. Offseason is here, Mike. But before we get to free agency, you've watched a lot of baseball, okay? The fifth inning, to cry over spilled milk here in San Diego, we'll do it all off season. We haven't really talked a lot about it. We were off one day because of the Aztecs had a football game. But, like, what are the odds in inning plays out like that defensively? You know what I mean? Like, watching all the games we've watched, it's kind of like a 1 in a million inning, isn't it? The way it was defended or poorly played by the Yankees. Like, how do you quantify what happened there?
Yeah, it was really weird. I mean, you know, it's not like, listen, Aaron Judge plays a really good center field for a guy who's 6'7", 285, right? It was weird to see a ball hit right at him that he dropped. I know it was kind of knuckling on him, but that was strange. I think the Volpe error is the most understandable because Kike Hernandez basically did to Volpe what Manny Machado did to Freddie Freeman, and that he took a route to try and alter the throw and did. And so it was a one-hop throw and couldn't handle it. And then Cole just not covering first base was really strange. And still, like, they can get out of that inning down 5-1, right? Like, it's second and third and 2 outs at that point. So it was a weird implosion. I'm a big fan of the idea that it was the curse of Fat Joe, right? Like, they had an I don't know if you guys caught this, but like, they had an in-stadium message in the 4th inning from Fat Joe, like trying to rile up the fans.
Did not know that.
And, yeah, it was like one of those things where it was like Kike Hernandez said it at the parade. He was like, that came on the screen, and we were like, "Let's go." That was the rally, and so yeah, I mean, a very, very strange inning. But listen, I thought the Dodgers were the better team. I think they clearly earned it. I don't know that this is the best Dodger team that they've had in this, incredible run of success that they've had, but they were the one that ended up taking home the trophy at the end, and they played, after they got through that Padres series. I mean, that was a 6-game series against the Mets where nothing was close. I mean, even with 2 blowout losses, they outscored the Mets by 3 runs a game. That was a mismatch. And then they did the little things better than New York did.
And as we move to free agency now, after the game 5 in New York, the Juan Soto press conference where he basically announced to the whole world, I'm up for business. Whoever has the highest offer, essentially, like, I'll be listening. And he is going to be the number 1 free agent this offseason. Are you believing these numbers that people are throwing out there? Like, it starts at 600, could go to 700. Like, are you believing that could be the realistic number that Soto could get in free agency?
I'm not sure that I buy 700, but I think 6 is within range. And I think the Padres kind of opened the door for this with some of the longer, 12-year deals that they've offered, or 11-year deals, over the course of the last several years. I expect Soto to beat the present day value of Ohtani's contract, which, depending on how you look at it, it's somewhere between $43 and $46 million a year. And that number starts to add up really quick, right? So, we do the math real easy, right? 46 times 10 is 460. Well, you start adding on, 2 more years to that, and all of a sudden you're up over $550 million, and let's say it's a 14-year deal in the end, then you're over 600. And so that's where I think those numbers come from. And it will probably be, I would guess somewhere in that 40, somewhere between 45 and $48 million a year for, somewhere around 11 or 12 to 15 years. And when you start adding those numbers together, you start to see that, man, that's a huge total. So, I am kind of buying it, but I still think 700 is probably a little bit outside the bounds, just because, like Soto's a superstar. Don't get me wrong, and I think some of the reporting that's come out here about how they were making progress before Peter Seidler fell ill on extension with San Diego. I think is really interesting because he is a superstar player, but I don't think he's the draw that Shohei Ohtani is. And so I think it probably comes in below the total value of that contract, but above the present day value.
So do you have a prediction now for potentially like who's going to give him that contract?
Yankees. I think in the end, the Yankees and Mets are going to be the two that are the heaviest in there. I think the Yankees have a pretty great need. I'm hard pressed to see him taking off the Yankee pinstripes. Generally, if the Yankees want a player, they really want a player, they don't lose him. So I'm going to say Yankees until proven otherwise.
Yeah, makes complete sense. Mike Ferrin, MLB Network Radio, back with us here on Jon and Jim. Switching gears to the Padres, they've got a number of players from the 2024 team that paid dividends. I mean, the Padres obviously had a very good year. And now they got to make decisions like, can they get them back as free agents? I know they didn't offer qualifying offers to like a Jurickson Profar, a Ha-Seong Kim. They had a catcher in Kyle Higashioka who had a very nice year. Out of that group, I mean, Profar, Kim, Higashioka, could you see some of them back? How do you see that playing out this offseason?
Yeah, I mean, I think Profar is a good bet to return just because things have gone so well for him there.
Yep.
I don't know that you can expect the same level of production that you got this year from him, but I think, something that's certainly north of the $1 million deal that he had last year, but maybe more in that 3 and 30 range would make sense. They need a shortstop. I mean, I really think, they could play Bogarts there and they could play Cronenworth at second and Arise at first, but it's not the best defensive alignment because Bogarts just isn't a great shortstop. He's better suited for another position. So I could see them, like Kim would be a guy that you would probably get on a little bit lower base, higher incentive deal if you wanted to bring him back just because he's coming off shoulder surgery. And I'm not even sure if he's going to be ready for opening day. The problem is that the market for shortstops is really thin because other than him, it's Willy Adames, who's probably going to cost a number that this Padres ownership group isn't willing to go to for an everyday shortstop. And I think that there are teams that have more pressing needs, like the Giants, who will probably spend more to be able to get him. So, and then you have to start looking at, what are the trade options at shortstop? And it's not a great list, but I'm sure that they can probably try and look that direction if they want. And catcher, the market got a little bit better with Travis d'Arnaud on it. I mean, he did not have a good second half, and he's 36. But, Luis Campusano is still there, and then Campusano has some good offensive upside, and I think that there's ways that they can piece it together. I don't think Ethan Salas and Leodalis DeVries are going to play factors on the 2025 team. I mean, as much as they're cool with moving guys a la Jackson Merrill really quickly, I just don't think that that's going to be quite it. I mean, DeVries is like the second youngest player in the history of the fall league. And he's been okay out here, but it's not like it's, there's nothing in his stat line that tells you he's ready for the big leagues yet. He put up a decent year in Elsinore, especially when you consider he's 17 years old. But I think there's probably some more refinement that needs to come. So you're looking at external, additions at probably 3 positions and at least another starting pitcher for depth with the Joe Musgrove injury. So they have some work to do, and I don't have a clear idea of what their budget's going to look like yet. Hopefully they have a little bit of flexibility, but they're right at the luxury tax line as it is. And, we saw how much they wanted to reduce payroll last year, and things are probably a little better after hosting a couple of playoff games, but I can't imagine that they're going to go back and spend like they did when Peter Seidler was alive.
Yeah, and going forward now here, Mike, with the Dodgers winning the World Series this past year, I mean, it feels like everything that the Padres do needs to be focused on how do we get over the hump of the Dodgers now? How do we get past them? How do we get to a World Series? How do we win a World Series? And like philosophically thinking about it here, if you can't spend the money and you got to try to get on the edges here, like what's the play? Because you can't just expect all of a sudden to just have that 1 year where you get over the Dodgers, because the Dodgers aren't stopping. Like Roki Suzuki's out there. Like Willie Adames is another name that's linked to the Dodgers. Like Dodgers aren't stopping. So the Padres, like, how is this going to work out?
Yeah, I mean, I think, first of all, with the Suzuki thing, if he does get posted, he's still under the age of 23. So it'll work like Ohtani, where he would be part of the amateur budget, right? And those reset on January 15th. So it's not like the Dodgers have, a huge advantage. In fact, they're at a disadvantage compared to some other teams as to how much they can spend internationally. So I don't know that necessarily fits there. I would look at it a little different, though. And I think, listen, it was just 2 years ago that the Padres got by the Dodgers in the playoffs, right? They lost to the Phillies in the League Championship Series. You just got to qualify for the postseason, and then anything can happen. Now, would you prefer to have the bye? I'll always argue yes, that you should. And I think, we finally saw this year where 3 of the 4 LCS teams were teams that had the byes. But I think it's less about like pulling your hair out over how do we beat the Dodgers over the course of 162 games and then again in the postseason, as it is, you need to qualify for the playoffs. And then whatever happens, happens. And that's a really uncomfortable spot to be in that you kind of leave yourself up to the fates of the gods. But as long as you do things like, cover first base on a squibber to first,
right.
like you probably put yourself in pretty good shape. And so I think that's the biggest thing. I mean, we've talked about it before, right? That Diamondbacks team last year was not really good, and they won the National League pennant. So, all you have to do is be one of the 6 teams that gets into the tournament, and you have a chance.
No doubt about it. Mike, before you go, final one from me, just on, you mentioned starting pitching as a need. Of course it is basically for all teams, but without Joe Musgrove. Looking at some of these names, again, the Padres aren't going to be in on the top line free agent starters, you wouldn't think, because of their payroll constraints. But like guys like Frankie Montas or Nick Pivetta, or even a former Padre, Nick Martinez, are those the types of names we would be talking about? Are there others out there potentially when you look at it kind of first blush to begin free agency?
Well, ordinarily, I would say, on those last 2, but both of them got qualifying offers.
Ah, interesting. Okay. Yep.
Which is really interesting, right? I think that means that, both teams are willing to have them back at $21 million or whatever it is for 1 year, or 23, I can't remember what the qualifying offer number is off the top of my head. But I think that's super interesting. There could be some other names. I think a guy that's worth considering for a number of teams, and granted, he may not be ready right at the beginning of the year, but, Shane Bieber is a former Cy Young Award winner who's, coming off Tommy John surgery and looked really good before he got hurt last year. That's a guy who's a perfect fit for a low base, high incentive contract. And, I think the Padres are in a little better shape. Well, actually, they're in a lot better shape pitching-wise than they were at the same point a year ago. Randy Vasquez did a pretty good job when they needed him to. And obviously, Cease has been great. He's heading to free agency. Matt Waldron can be a perfectly cromulent back-end starter as a knuckleballer, right? They're just in a little better position than they were a year ago. So that's helpful, too, that they don't necessarily need to go out and make that big splash move. Now, I know A.J. Preller never met a big move that he didn't like making, and maybe he will, still add somebody that they can control for a number of years who can anchor that rotation. But I think that there are some potential players that are out there, maybe on 1-year deals, that could be helpful.
Mike, we always appreciate it, man. Great insight, perspective. Free agency underway, 2025 on its way as well. Never ends. Mike Ferrin, MLB Network Radio. Mike, let's do it again soon, and thanks for hopping on, all right?
Thanks, Mike.
All right, guys. Take care.
All right, take care, Mike Ferrin. Jim said thanks, but his mic was off.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah,
that's great. All right, we're going to get to the wrap on the other side. Aaron Torres on the return of college basketball today. The Aztecs will start on Wednesday. Aaron's going to join us, friend of the show as well. At 4:30, we have more San Diego State tickets to give away for Wednesday night as well. It's Jon and Jim. All right, hey guys, it is Jon and Jim. We've been telling you for months about our friends over at Hamul Casino. It's an amazing spot throughout football season. You need to get there every single Monday night here in November. Chances to win big at Hamul with their promotions.
Yeah, with 10 winners every hour at 7 p.m., 8 p.m., and 9 p.m., your odds are better than ever. Plus, you can earn entries all month long by playing and getting two-time entries on Tuesdays with at least $500 in cash for all winners and a chance to win up to $25,000 in cash.
So get out there tonight. Tony Gwynn Sports Pub, Monday Night Football, all the food and drinks. Great spot. Really is. Great televisions. They've got the Tony Gwynn Sports memorabilia. They have unbelievable food at Hamul. Not just Tony Gwynn Sports Pub, but they also have endless dining, and they do it 5 nights a week. Get there this upcoming weekend. And on Saturdays, they have a surf and turf buffet. You're going to love it. They've got all the food you could possibly want at Hamul Casino.
Yeah, their deck bar is amazing, has great views of the valley. Tony Gwynn Sports Pub, as Jon, you just mentioned, it's a great place to watch a game. It's a great place to have some really good food. So get to Hamul Casino today. It's fun above all else.
All right, Aaron Torres is going to join us in 10 minutes, which means we should probably get to this.
It's time for The Wrap, presented by Sombrero Mexican Food. Check out their website at sombreromex.com.
They're both on the same thing, so you have to wait. All right, who wins tonight's massive Bucks-Chiefs game at Arrowhead?
I'll go with the Chiefs stay undefeated.
Chiefs?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Bucks have a lot of injuries. I think they're going to be without Mike Williams and Chris Godwin tonight. Chris Godwin, I think, is out for the rest of the season.
Well, maybe they'll go like triple option.
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
I like that.
They just
I
keep
like
it on
that
the
a
ground.
lot. Yeah, that's good. It's good.
Chiefs by 9 is the spread.
Chiefs by 9?
Yeah. Yeah, Chiefs stay undefeated in this one. I would be shocked.
Bucks 23.
Chiefs 13.
Chiefs 24.
Okay, so you have
Chiefs
the
in a close one.
Chiefs in a close one. So you get the team losing
I wish
score
always-
first. I hate
Is there
that.
anything worse than that? Like Padres lost 2-5. No,
Oh,
they
God, it's
didn't.
cringy,
They
dude.
didn't do
Oh, my
that.
God.
They lost 5-2.
Oh, that makes me cringe.
Oh, I can't deal with that. All right, next question.
Will Duke's Cooper Flagg be named National Player of the Year as a freshman?
Yeah,
all
Jim.
the highlights I've seen of Cooper Flagg have just been amazing. Like
He's
he
ridiculous.
does not look like a freshman.
No.
He goes out there and is clearly the best player on the floor. I guess he balled out against the USA team in like the I guess Olympic selects the USA select team.
Yeah.
Some thought he should have made the team.
Oh, yeah, like they had like scrimmages?
Yeah.
He's really good in that. People were like, dude, this guy's like, I think KD even mentioned him as a player to watch because
Right.
he did really well in those scrimmages. Dude, who else is out there?
Well, I'm sure there's some other guys on the 350 teams.
I'm sure there is
I'm sure
too,
there's some
John.
really good Mark,
So-
I'll give you a name.
give
Mark
me-
Sears, Alabama.
Oh, the Mark Sears. Okay.
Yeah, who the Aztecs played a couple of years ago in the NCAA tournament, who helped guide them to their first Final Four ever last year. That would be a name to keep an eye on. There's probably another 50 that are capable of winning National Player of the Year. I mean, who knows about Cooper Flagg? But Duke does open with Maine, and he's out of the state of Maine, oddly enough. Like, is he the best athlete in the history of Maine? Like, Maine is not exactly like known for producing the best basketball players, are they? I don't even know if Jim knows Maine's a state. Cooper Flagg will be potentially on the list if he lives up to the hype, which won't be easy to be or do as a true freshman. Next question.
Can the Aztecs still make a bowl game?
All right. So they lost to Boise by a big number on Thursday night. Friday night.
Mhm.
But they were expected to lose that game. Like,
Right.
you know, did not look good in the first half? No. But they're also going up against a team that will likely make the college football playoff if they do not stumble.
Right.
So then I'm looking at the rest of their schedule here. New Mexico on Friday. That's a must-win game. Must-win game here at home. UNLV on the road, going to be tough.
Yep.
That's going to be tough. Utah State and Air Force must-win games. If they win 3 out of the remaining 4 games, they're in a bowl game. And 3 out of the 4 games remaining, they have really good chances to win those games. So there's still a shot, but they cannot slip up against New Mexico, Utah State, or Air Force, or it's donezo.
Yeah, exactly. I think there'll be like small favorites potentially in those 3 games, but it's not easy to win every single game when you're a quote unquote small favorite. Like in this game coming up this weekend, it opened to San Diego State favored by 3. So, New Mexico's capable of winning that game. But yes, can they still make a bowl game? Absolutely. I think their expectations are to win 3 of their last 4 games.
Hold on, pause. What are you watching?
Watching Kentucky Wright State. Lamont's got 4 points. What?
I look over at John's computer, and the Kentucky Wright State game's on.
Yeah.
You weren't kidding.
Right. Next question.
Before the show,
He
John's
was
like,
lying. He totally knew who Corpus Christi was playing today.
John's like, I'm gonna.
Oh,
What happened?
Lamont must have laughed. Next question.
Oh my god.
Who should the Padres target at free agency?
Well, Jerkson Profar is a free agent, so target him.
Yeah.
I think. Tell me what you think about this.
Okay.
All right. He's not going to cost a lot. He had a really bad season, but he was an MVP as recently as 2 years ago. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Wait, what? That was even, the MVP.
Yeah, because you're watching Kentucky Wright State.
There was an MVP that's
How
available.
you know how
right
he
now.
feels whenever the Niners play?
That is true.
Who's the MVP that was available? Or that's available?
Paul Goldschmidt.
Won the MVP 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2022.
No.
Yes. It was the year Manny finished second. Top 3 were Goldschmidt, Manny, Arenado.
This says Patrick Mahomes.
Because you're looking at the
Wrong
NFL, wrong sport.
Goldschmidt won the MVP in 2022.
Correct. He's a free agent this year. He had an awful, I mean awful
Well,
season.
what's his contract gonna look like? The wheels have fallen off here, dude. He's just old.
Now, but here's my thing. A guy like him
Right.
or Carlos Santana,
Right.
like those are a couple names that I'm thinking not going to cost a lot of money, This past year, you get a guy like David Peralta come in, play really well. Donovan Solano, old player. Jurickson Profar had a career year. Like, they need a first baseman. If it doesn't work out, it won't cost you a bunch. Now, here's the problem though. If those guys get signed, especially Goldschmidt, it's a 1-year deal. It's not going to be $1 million. It's probably going to be around 10 or 12 or 13.
Yeah, I mean, he made 26 last year. So, I mean, that's not really a flyer. I mean, you better be pretty confident this guy's bouncing back. You better be really confident if you're the San Diego Padres. Aaron Torres, let's talk some Kentucky Wright State. He'll join us coming up next.
That's all you. All right, this update is brought to you by Taco Bell. We'll start in the NFL. Dennis Allen today was fired as the Saints head coach. And Dak Prescott is out multiple weeks for the Cowboys with a hamstring injury. Moving over to baseball, free agency is underway. Ha-Seong Kim declined the Padres mutual option, making him a free agent. Jurickson Profar is a free agent. Padres did not offer a qualifying offer to him. And Garrett Cole, who opted out of his deal with the Yankees, re-signed with the Yankees for 4 years, $144 million. And 4 Padres are finalists For the Silver Slugger Award this past season, Luis Arraez, Manny Machado, Jurickson Profar, and Jackson Merrill. The Gordita Supreme is back at Taco Bell in the $7 Lux Cravings box alongside the beefy 5-layer burrito, double stacked taco, chips with nacho cheese sauce, and a medium drink at participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only. While supplies last, drink excludes freezes, taxes extra.
All right, Aaron, let's get Aaron Torres in here because Jim's making fun of me. He's like, who's watching Kentucky Wright State? I'm like, I'm watching Kentucky. Who's watching Purdue, Texas A&M, Corpus Christi? I'm watching.
Okay, here's the thing. We have a radio show going on.
I'm
right
not
now.
worried about that.
Okay, that's right.
Okay, it's opening day of college basketball. Aaron Torres
you can
is
care
an
less.
amazing voice on college hoops. Friend of the show, Fox Sports Radio, back with us. We'll talk national picture, more locally, just the Mountain West in general, Aaron. Banner year, we all know. It's 6 teams in the NCAA tournament. Now, only one really made a run. It was San Diego State to a Sweet 16. That can't be the expectation, obviously, this upcoming year to get 6 teams in. So what do you think about the league heading into this upcoming year? And thanks for hopping on.
First off, is it not your job to be watching sports when sports are on?
Thank you.
I mean, I host, the Fox Sports, college football national recap show. And, we have 4 games going on at once. It's kind of my job. I was filling in yesterday afternoon. Rich Orenberger was on before me. I think it was kind of his job to see what was going on in the whatever the big early game was. I wouldn't say Patriots Titans, but whatever, what was it? Bengals Raiders. I mean, Rich Orenberger is supposed to be in front of a TV keeping America updated.
That's right.
John, I don't know how many people in San Diego care that much about Wright State, Kentucky, but it is your job. So
you make a good point.
So no shame in that.
I appreciate
Mountain
you.
West. You wanted me to talk about Mountain West.
Yeah.
Right? Great league, great coaches. And that's all there is to it. And listen, guys, we've talked about this for years, but Brian Dutcher, been doing it forever and been doing it at a high level forever. Nico Medved is excellent. Leon Rice, been doing it at a high level forever. Utah State, doesn't matter who they bring in as a head coach, they win at a really high level. Richard Pitino, I think, has done a really good job with New Mexico. So I'm sure I'm missing a guy or two. But listen, it starts with commitment from the school, the administration, and having the right person in place. And when you ask me about the Mountain West, whether it is off that incredible six bid season a year ago, or whether it's looking ahead to 2024, 2025, I think at the end of the day, the question is, do you have the right people in place? And the vast majority of schools in the Mountain West absolutely do.
Aaron, how big of a loss is Reese Waters for the Aztecs this year? Well, at least for the start of the season.
It's tough, it's tough. And obviously just given all of the other things that San Diego State lost throughout the offseason, I'm not trying to be funny or ironic, but I actually do have the Wright State Kentucky game on, and I am watching Lamont Butler in a Kentucky uniform using his COVID year of eligibility. I think it's tough. I think there was always going to be, new faces and new guys that have to step up. I think the great thing is, guys, and we all love college football too, but college football, you have a bad weekend, you have a bad loss, it could linger with you all season. I'll be transparent. I don't know just how tough San Diego State's schedule is to start, but I do think this is this is a program that has, reinvented itself time and time again. And so on the one hand, I don't want to undersell how important. I still call him Reese Dixon Waters, so you'll have to forgive me. Reese Waters is to the program. I don't want to undersell how important he is, but as I said a second ago, Dutch has been doing this for so long. He's going to find a way to get through this for the time being.
On the national scene, or maybe staying in the West, but also nationally, I mean, obviously Gonzaga is always one of those top 10 programs coming into a year. San Diego State actually hosts Gonzaga in a couple of weeks. Their schedule's always loaded, at least in the non-conference. Do they remain like the window didn't close, did it? I've heard that before. Like, Gonzaga's window is closed to win a national championship. The game is changing with the portal and NIL. Gonzaga is still Gonzaga, right? Moving forward.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I was kind of one of those guys that really, what it really was, guys, was really after Tommy Lloyd, who's obviously the head coach of Arizona now, he did so much of the recruiting, specifically the international recruiting. And, they really recruited internationally as well as anyone was recruiting anywhere. When you look at, listen, Domantas Sabonis has been an NBA All-Star. Rui Hachimura playing in the NBA. You go on and on down the list. And then, they were kind of an early adapter, not really to the portal so much as to kind of using the portal to find guys to fill holes. And so when he left, there was a talent drop off, and you could kind of see it. And I think probably 2 seasons ago, Drew Timme really probably carried that program to a level that they weren't really at. Like, I think they ended up as a 2 or a 3 seed that year. And I don't think they were one of the 6 to 8 to 10 best teams in the country. But I think Mark Few's done a good job of kind of recalibrating. And I think what's different this year, and what really worked for Gonzaga through the years, one, they were able to retain players. There was continuity within the program. Now, a lot of that was those international guys. There's not as many international guys, but this is a team more than anybody. They basically bring back everybody off of a Sweet 16 team last year. And so, listen, San Diego State fans know it as well as anybody, but a lot of success in college basketball in 2024. We all are guilty of following the portal and high school recruiting and all that, but so much of it is who do you bring back, who maybe played a role last year that can step into a bigger role this year. And I think Gonzaga is one of the few teams that really has some really solid year-over-year continuity. And so I'd be lying if I didn't kind of, slap myself on the wrist for being one of the people that kind of questioned kind of their viability. But I think they're right back in position to be pretty much as good as anybody in the sport this year.
And speaking of Gonzaga, this question is probably like a year away type of question, but with the new Pac-12, Gonzaga, San Diego State, how good is that basketball conference coming up here?
It's going to be really good. And listen, I think, Gonzaga was obviously looking for a step up, and I think to align themselves with a lot of those schools that are currently in the Mountain West. I think for them, it was a good situation. I think they obviously were trying to see if there was a Big 12 opportunity in their future that clearly that just wasn't going to happen. For years there was conversation about the Big East, but obviously travel logistics were not going to allow that to happen. So no, I think it's going to be a great conference going forward. And, I think a couple things is one, obviously without the quote unquote Pac-12, because I know it is going to be the Pac-12, but without the quote unquote Pac-12 right now, there is a void. There's a void certainly on the West Coast. And I think the other thing too is that Pac-12 is going to be kind of at a manageable number where I just think, you look at some of these power conferences right now, 16, 17, 18 teams, and, teams just get lost in the shuffle. There's a lot of dead weight. I mean, you see it even in football right now where some of those bottom teams, and whether it's the Big Ten or the SEC, it's just dead weight at the bottom of the league. And clearly, when you have an 8, 10, 12 team league, you're still going to have somebody have to finish in last place. I understand that. But I just think across the board, the quality of competition is going to be really good. And to your guys' point, I think it's going to be a really good basketball conference. And I guess to the point that I made a second ago, there's not going to be those 4, 5, 6 teams at the bottom of the league standings kind of holding everybody down.
All right, Aaron Torres, Fox Sports Radio with us right now. Now, about 30 minutes ago, Jim said Cooper Flagg was the consensus National Player of the Year.
I did.
Now, he hasn't scored today against Maine.
I didn't say that.
No, I know, but we talked about him. I think you liked him as a potential National Player of the Year.
I like.
I think a lot of people do. So we're 16 minutes into a game against Maine, and he's had 1 field goal attempt. I'm not watching this game. I don't know what's happening. He has 3 assists. Is Cooper Flagg, again, whatever, this is one game, but is he a legitimate National Player of the Year candidate in your mind coming into the year? And if he is, how ridiculously impressive is that for a true freshman in a program like Duke?
Yeah, it's funny. So I have been trying to watch a little bit of this game. So first of all, it does feel like to me, and this is not an insult, this is actually a compliment, I think he's trying to go out of his way to, fit in is not the right word, but play make for others. And that is one thing throughout his prep career. He's been a great kind of point forward playmaker type guy. But I just bring it up because it feels like in this game, it feels like he's trying a little too hard to make plays for others. And I do wonder if it's the first game, spotlight's been on him. I'm sure all the interview requests coming in, everybody's trying to get a piece of him. And he's just trying to show that he's one of the guys. National play, and I'll even backtrack for half a second. You guys mentioned about, how he fits in. I remember it would have been, the 2021-2022 season, but I remember seeing Paolo Banchero with Duke in Vegas. They played Gonzaga. Actually, we were just talking about Gonzaga, but they played him around Thanksgiving time. And I only bring it up because I remember Paulo, he had like 22 first half points and he finished with like 33, and you can look it up. I forget all the stats, but he just put that team on his back offensively. And by the way, Cooper Flagg just had a pretty sick dunk. So he is
he's back on
the scoreboard.
He's back.
He's not going to go scoreless in his Duke career. Congratulations. So yeah, I just don't think he's going to be the guy that like offensively is going to get like 28 on a regular basis, which I think when we think number one overall pick, that's the kind of guy. But he's a playmaker. He's an impact guy. I don't, National Player of the Year is tough, but I will say there are not a lot of really high-profile players returning. R.J. Davis at Carolina. There's a few others. But I think he'll be in the conversation, but he's not the point I'm trying to make. I'm going all over the place, but the point I'm trying to make, I don't think he's just going to wow you with, offensive bullet points and putting up 30, 32, 28, 27. That's just not the player he is or he's ever been.
All right, in 30 seconds, real quick, before you go, who's the national champion? I mean, we've seen so much basketball already. This shouldn't be hard. Who do you think? I mean, if you're just going to make a prediction, give me a team or two in 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'll be super quick here. I saw UConn practice earlier this fall. I think that they probably have a little bit more work to do than they have in previous years. That's a cop-out answer. My official pick is Houston. They returned basically everybody except for Jamal Shedd, but I think it's going to be the usual suspects. Houston, Alabama, who returns most everybody off of a Final Four team, UConn, maybe Duke, teams like that. Houston's my official pick. So I'll just drop them right here since I know we're short on time.
Great stuff, Aaron. Always appreciate it, man. Enjoy day one of college hoops, and we'll do it again this winter, all right?
Thanks, Aaron.
Fellas, thank you both. Have a great afternoon. We'll talk soon.
All right, sounds good. Aaron Torres, Fox Sports Radio. Call right now. Speaking of college basketball, who wants 2 free tickets for San Diego State, UCSD, the opener Wednesday night at Viejas Arena? If you want them, call right now. First 2 callers will be contestants for trivia. You need to call right now if you want 2 free tickets to San Diego State, UCSD, Wednesday night at Viejas Arena. 877-767-4760. They're hanging a Sweet 16 banner on Wednesday before the game. 877-767-4760. First 2 callers will be contestants on trivia. You need to call right now for a chance to win. 877-767-4760. That's next. All right, what if you could be debt-free by this January? Get rid of all that high-interest debt, pay off all your credit cards, consolidate everything into one lower payment. Hey, guys, it's Schaefer. If you're ready to stop stressing over bills, you need to call Loan Pronto right now. With rates at their lowest in 2 years, this is the perfect chance to use your home's equity and save big going into the new year. Loan Pronto has rates with APRs in the low 5s, and they're getting homeowners hundreds of thousands out of their home's equity. Homeowners who do this save on average $850 a month. That's huge money. Loan Pronto offers a ton of options, including total refis or their express equity lines of credit. So call now. Get a rate quote in just minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call today and you won't make a house payment until 2025. LoanPronto.com, 619-207-4336. Get loanpronto.com. Free rate quotes at 619-207-4336. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. On approved credit, NMLS consumeraccess.org. All right, we're going to get to trivia in a moment, but before we do that, San Diego Sports 760 has 13 chances for you to win $1,000 every weekday. With the inflation vacation, listen to the Nationwide keyword at the top of every hour from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. That's what's coming up in 10 minutes, Jim. Then enter it at sportssd.com. You could have $1,000.
Cool.
Which is pretty good.
It's very good.
It's more than you have now without the 1,000.
That's correct.
I doubt you're eligible.
You could use that on your honeymoon if you ever take
That's
it.
right.
Yeah.
When you go away.
Yeah.
For your third honeymoon in the last year.
All right. Third.
Second and a half.
By the time they go on their honeymoon, they'll need a babysitter.
Shut up, Brent.
Wow.
Shut your mouth.
Wow.
Not right now.
All right. Back to a Padres free agent primer in about 10 minutes. But right now, let's get to this.
All right, 3 questions, 2 contestants, 1 lifeline. Today's 2 contestants, we have Vinny and we have Mark. Vinny, you called in first, so you have your choice of John or Jim. Who do you want to go with?
Let's go with Schaefer.
All right, Vinny and John.
And Mark, you there?
Sure am.
All right. So Mark, you get Jim. All right.
Got it.
All right. Cool. Brent, what's the question of the day?
All right, guys. Monday Night Football is about to get underway here in about a half an hour. Today's question: can you name the 6 Someone turn your radio down. Can you name these 6 NFL quarterbacks this season that have 30 or more passes of 20 or more yards? So there's 6 quarterbacks in the NFL this season that have thrown for passes of 20 or more yards 30 times.
You're gonna hate my answer because
Wait, hold on.
No. We didn't ask for an answer yet.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Is anyone listening with the radio turned up?
One of them is because we're
Can you
hearing
turn the radio
ourselves.
down, please.
Hang on. That might be. No, it's not me. There we go.
It's one of you. Because I just heard myself when I talk. Listen on the phone. Turn the radio down.
Jim's so close to just screaming. All right.
Okay.
All right. Now, Mark, you get to go first because Vinny got to pick his partner.
Okay.
Turn down the pot and see who it is. You know what I mean, Brent? All right. Test 1, 2. Test 1, 2, 3.
It's Vinny.
It's Vinny. If you wouldn't mind turning your radio
I
down.
swear.
Please turn your radio down.
Let's see.
Okay. Thank you.
Hang
Take
on.
a moment. You can go over to the radio and turn it down.
Let me try this.
Here's what I would suggest. Whatever the volume is, lower it.
Turn the off. Okay. Mark, you're up first. What's your first guess? You do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
I'll start with Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson. He's on the
Okay.
list. He's really good, John.
He is.
Vinny, back to you. What's your first guess? You do have a lifeline if you want to use it. What do you got?
I'll do Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert.
Justin Herbert.
No.
Oh, fuck.
It's all
Mark,
right. Not over.
Mark, back to you. What's your second guess? You do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
I'll probably need it for my third guess. I'll try Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
It's Joe. No, he's not on the list.
Ah, Vinny, what's your second guess? You do have a lifeline if you want to use it.
I guess I'll take the lifeline.
Okay, John, what do you got?
I'll give you Baker Mayfield.
Do you take
Did you
that?
take it?
I take it.
Oh.
Mark,
My bad.
Mark, does Mark lead 1-0?
Yes,
Yeah.
Mark can walk it off.
All right, Mark, you can walk this off with the correct answer. What do you got? You also have a lifeline if you want to use it.
Yeah, I'll go. I'll see you. Jim, help me out, dude.
Wow.
All right. So there's one name that I want to say, but I don't want to say it. But I'm going to say the other name I have in my head. And it's going to be screw it. Brock Purdy. Do you take it?
I was thinking Gino or Darnold.
Okay.
Brock Purdy.
You can choose something else. That's
Niners
just
quarterback.
Yeah, because he just throws it to Kittle and Kittle goes crazy, or he throws it to. Okay, I'll go with you.
Purdy for the win. Wow.
Boom, you're
Jim.
welcome.
Team Niners.
You're welcome.
They're back. Didn't lose this weekend.
No, they didn't.
They never lose.
Thank God. It'd be bad.
All right. So congratulations to Mark. Man, Vinny's so close. We came close.
So close yet so
Yeah.
far. What would you have guessed, by the way?
I did already guess.
Oh, that's right,
I
you
was
did.
wrong. I would have also said Patrick Mahomes.
Nope, you'd have been wrong there.
I know. That's what I was thinking. So I said Baker Mayfield.
Jared Goff on the list? Because that was my other guess.
No.
Ooh, yes.
Deshaun Watson.
Not on the list.
Jaden Daniels.
Oh, Josh Allen.
Josh Allen is on the list.
Okay.
Jaden Daniels not on the list.
Okay.
Jameis Winston. No, just kidding.
No.
Kidding.
All right, Lamar.
who's on the list?
Lamar's thrown 33 passes of 20 or more yards this
Okay.
season. Trevor Lawrence is second, tied for second. Him and Aaron Rodgers have both thrown 31. Then Josh Allen, then Sam Darnold. So one of his guesses would have been right. And then Brock Purdy.
All right. Well, congratulations to Mark. You're going to San Diego State on Wednesday night against UCSD. Limited tickets, if they are available, are at goaztecs.com. It's the Aztecs men's basketball season opener, banner raising night. They'll raise that Sweet 16 banner. San Diego State, UCSD, Crosstown Schools, Wednesday night, 7 p.m. You can listen to it right here on San Diego Sports 760. How are you, Jim?
I'm good. How are you, John?
Good. Let's do a Padres free agent primer on the other side. Plus, we're going to get to
do it for the rest of the offseason.
We're going to do it for the next 4 months, including coming up next. Plus, is that good? The best and worst of the sports weekend. Hour 3 of Jon and Jim comes your way next.
This update's brought to you by Taco Bell. We'll start in the NFL. Already a firing as Dennis Allen, who has lost now 7 straight games with the Saints, was fired today as their head coach. NFL news with the Cowboys. Dak Prescott out multiple weeks with a hamstring injury as they lost another game yesterday, this time to the Falcons. They're 3-5 on the year. And baseball news of the day, free agency is underway. Ha-Seong Kim is now a free agent after declining the Padres' mutual option. Jerkson Profar, free agent. Padres did not extend a qualifying offer to him. And Garrett Cole, he opted out of his Yankees contract. He re-signed with the Yankees today for 4 years, $144 million. The Gordita Supreme is so back at Taco Bell in the $7 Lux Cravings box alongside the beefy 5-layer burrito, double stack taco, chips with nacho cheese sauce, and a medium drink at participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only. While supplies last, drinks excludes freezes, taxes extra.
All right, San Diego and Southern California, what's going on? Final hour, Jon and Jim. We are with you until 6. We do have Jim's back page still ahead. We'll get to Is That Good, the best and worst of the sports weekend. Brent, thank you. Brent has put some college basketball on for me. I know there's Monday Night Football.
But I also think Brent refuses to watch Monday Night Football because I saw
Taylor's in the building.
I saw Taylor on the screen, and Brent have the biggest eye roll I've ever seen anybody have in their entire life.
I've never pushed a button so fast in my life.
So speaking of honeymoon,
why do you hate Taylor Swift?
I just don't like it when stuff's shoved down my throat.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay to each their own.
I know. I'm just asking.
I mean, I
have nothing against her
no
personally.
issue. I have no issue.
I'm just over it.
Yeah,
and
no.
sick of seeing it.
But here's what I want. I want to know when are they going to take the next step?
Good job.
When are they going
to?
Okay, everyone stop.
When are they going to take the next
No,
step?
Jim, we know how much you love it when people talk over each other, so we're just going to keep doing it.
I want to know when the engagement's coming. So that's what I'd be watching tonight. Maybe it's a week 9 engagement, Monday Night Football.
You think they're going to announce it at halftime or something?
When Taylor scores or Travis scores a touchdown, you think he's going to drop to one knee?
Remember the Boise State
lift his jersey up? We'll have "Will You Marry Me" on his shirt.
Remember the Boise State Oklahoma 2-point conversion?
Yes.
20 years ago.
Yes, John.
Ian Johnson, he was their captain on Friday night. He proposed to his cheerleader girlfriend after the big conversion or touchdown or whatever it was. Maybe Travis Kelce tonight in a big win over the Bucs. Taylor comes down on field and he proposes. I mean, how long do you date in the celebrity world before you're engaged? It's been over a year.
You're right. Maybe a little longer than that.
Okay. Apparently longer because they're not engaged, right?
I don't know. I know.
You guys you weren't a celebrity couple, but you were only engaged for you were dating not that long before you were engaged.
Right. We dated for only about 7-8 months.
7-8 months?
Yeah.
Do you even know each other's names?
No, actually, I don't.
But I'm saying this has been over a year.
I know.
They're in their 30s. Maybe sooner rather than later.
Everything's going great.
Is it?
Yeah.
Apparently she's at the big game.
She's at the big game tonight. Yeah. He was at her concert over the weekend.
Right. Did they not play? Oh no, they played tonight. So he didn't play this weekend.
Or he was at the concert, I think, during the bye week for them. I don't remember.
Chiefs, real quick on that. Monday Night Football, huge favorite. Bucks of injuries. You touched on it earlier. What are they even playing? Just the 1 seed here? I mean, what do they need to do? Are they already 2 games ahead of anyone else in the AFC? Does everyone else in the AFC have 2 losses? Like Baltimore's got multiple losses. They're playing really well. Is there anyone with 1 loss in the AFC?
Right now, you have the Bills have 2 losses. Right. Pittsburgh has 2 losses, and that's it. So they're 2 games up.
Think about that.
Well, if they lose tonight, they'd be a game up.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But they already have cushion here. Midway through the season, 7 of 17. But yeah, midway through the season, they already
they're
have
playing for something. It's not like they're 7-0 and everyone else is like 5-4. Or
no, that's not my point. Is they're already perfectly positioned. And they don't have to.
They play the Bills in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Like they still need to continue to win. They're an odd team because they don't score a lot of points, but they also have one of the best defenses in the league.
Yeah. They played a lot of close games, right? Their offense hasn't.
Like Mahomes, if you look at Mahomes' numbers this year, they're like not good.
Right.
At all. He has an 84 passer rating, 8 touchdowns, 9 interceptions on the year.
Right. It's crazy.
Their remaining games, the only like That's a good games that they have left. I said they play the Bills in 2 weeks. They play the Texans on the 21st of December. And I don't know, are we counting the Steelers as a good team? Because they play the Steelers on Christmas Day.
Steelers are a good team.
So I think those are the only two. Otherwise, it's like they play the Broncos twice. They play the Raiders, the Panthers. A bunch of teams are just going to crush.
Let me ask you this. What are the odds? They got to be really low.
To go undefeated?
They got to be really low.
They're not going undefeated.
Yeah. I know.
Because if anything, what they would do is if they clinched a first round bye, they're sitting guys. They're not going to play.
They should. They should. I mean, what they're playing for is 3 straight Super Bowls, which has never been done. That's the point. That's what they're playing. Everything they're doing right now is positioning themselves to win 3 straight Super Bowls. Get a 1 seed, get a bye, be healthy, win a couple of games, win a 3rd straight Super Bowl.
And Mahomes could throw for 20 interceptions in the regular season, and he still could go into a postseason and be easily the best player.
Yeah.
FanDuel has him plus 900 to go 17-0.
Yeah. That's not happening. I'm with you guys.
I don't think it's happening.
Free agency is underway in Major League Baseball. It started at 2 p.m. Pacific today. It's been underway for about 3 hours. Jim has told you some of the bigger moves today around baseball. The Garrett Cole deal is significant. He had opted out. He has opted back in to a 4-year, $144 million deal. Padres aren't going to be playing that game. We don't think. It's not going to be the Blake Snell large deal. It's certainly not going to be Juan Soto. There's other huge names out there, obviously Pete Alonso and others. So I think it starts with the Padres about getting your house in order. What I mean by that is, what are you going to do with your catcher with Kyle Higashioka? What are you going to do with Jerkson Profar? What are you going to do with Ha-Seong Kim? Get answers there. Can you get these players back or not? What's it going to cost to get these players back or not? From there, you attack free agents. I think you said it earlier today, like on the margins. You're not going to be looking at the $20 million price tag per year per player. You're just not. So where do you turn when you look at your rotation? You look at some of your needs. Shortstop's one of them for the Padres heading into 2025.
So, looking at the free agent list right now, the top tier, the Blake Snell, the Juan Soto, the Pete Alonso, Corbin Burns, you're just it's not going to happen. Nathan Eovaldi, not going to happen. But you look at the some names that are, I guess, towards the middle-ish. Like you could potentially go after a Frankie Montas.
Mm-hmm.
There's some guys that have received qualifying offers today that it's just not. I mean, Sean Manaea, Nick Martinez, Nick Pivetta that I mentioned, Luis Severino. They've all received qualifying offers from their teams. And other than that, Drew Smiley, Colin Ray. I'm just throwing off pitchers here that are, Jan Moncada is a guy that would be very cheap. And if you want to have a replacement for Ha-Seong Kim, a guy that I think, would fit, but also he probably not high expectations for him aren't that high.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to have to once again go around the margins. And that's a little bit of a bummer because the Dodgers are going to continue to make moves. They're not just going to stand pat. They're going to try to repeat next year, and they're going to have, Ohtani back as a pitcher, Glass now back, Walker Buehler is a free agent now, but, he could return. They got to figure out what they're going to do to Oscar Hernandez. They could go out and get a guy like Roki Sasaka. They could get Willie Adames for their shortstop position. The Dodgers aren't going to be sitting pat here and being like, oh, we won a World Series, so we're just going to run it back. They're going to upgrade, and they're going to upgrade probably in a big way.
Yeah, and they're going to talk to, and we've heard multiple people say they're not going to land them, but they're going to talk to a Juan Soto. I mean, they're going to be in on everything from the top to the bottom, and the Padres are going to have to work with the core that they have because they do have a core of players that are back. Machado, Tatis, Bogarts, Darvish, right? This group, this core, maybe Cronenworth, we'll see, maybe Arise, we'll see. This core this past year was good enough to beat the Dodgers more often than not in the regular season and put themselves in a position to win a series that they didn't win in the postseason. Now, I agree with you. I think it only gets harder. I think the Dodgers completely double down. I think they will do everything in their power, once again, to increase payroll and try to win above else, as they should. I mean, that's what they should essentially be doing. So it's not going to be easier in 2025, but I also agree with what Mike Ferrin said earlier from MLB Network Radio. If you missed it, check it out, sportssd.com or the iHeartRadio app. But I've said this repeatedly over the years. Just get in. Just get into the postseason. How can we forecast beyond that? How can we be talking about game 3 of a series against the Dodgers in the 2025 postseason? We have no clue what these teams are going to look like then. Put yourself in a position to win 89 games-ish, and then you've got a raffle ticket for the prize. But that's what you got to do. AJ should be worried about winning 89 games, not about beating the Dodgers in the postseason today.
You know, the scariest thing of the Dodgers winning their first World Series since 1988
What's that?
Is that now that pressure of choking,
it's off.
It's gone.
Yep.
That Dave Roberts pressure, that's gone. The team pressure, that's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's scary because all postseason, what were we waiting for? That one move that Dave Roberts makes that completely backfires. It didn't happen. He made all the right moves. That team made all the right moves. And so it's like, oh, crap. Not only did they get over that hump, but they don't have that pressure that was on them going into the postseason like it was the last 4 seasons of, hey, can you win a World Series in a regular year?
Mm-hmm.
And they failed in 21, 22, and 23, and now that pressure's gone. So that's also a scary thing too, is that's what you were kind of not banking on, but a little bit of when you face the Dodgers, Dave Roberts was going to F up, make a stupid move, and they were going to end up choking. And they didn't choke this year. If anything, they overcame all of those demons, and they overcame every single jinx possible, and they overcame every single bad move that Dave Roberts would make in the past, and they've won the freaking thing.
And they did it without a rotation. And they did it as truthfully, as stupid as this sounds. A lot of people that cover baseball for a living would have told you this is not the Dodgers' best chance to win a World Series.
No,
we heard that
this was not
over
their
and
best
over
team.
again before the postseason started. And guess what? Steve Hartman, who we used to work with, who tweeted this out, is going to be right. He says, put the Dave Roberts plaque, get it ready for Cooperstown. He's not wrong. He's the winningest manager in the history of the sport. He's now got multiple rings, whether we like it or not. The narrative is whatever we want to make of it locally. And some of it is absolutely accurate and true. No question about it. There have been playoff failure after playoff failure. At the end of the day, he's going to be a Hall of Fame manager. And a big reason why is because he went through the Padres this year.
And Ohtani's going to pitch next year. He's going to get better. They still got Mookie, Freddie Freeman. It's
not easy.
It's not easy. I'm sitting here looking at the path of the Padres, and you're right. Getting in at 89 wins, you take it.
Yeah.
But still, there's a hump there that it's not going to be easy. And if you get in 89 wins, are you going to have another magical series like you did in 2022 against potential Dodgers again? Because the likelihood of the Padres or any team in that division overtaking the Dodgers in the foreseeable future in the National League West to earn a bye, to earn home field, to earn the 1 seed or a 2 seed is very unlikely.
True, but you don't need it, as history has proven. So maybe you do. 2024, Dodgers used the bye to their advantage. 2023, they did not. 2022, they did not.
Yeah, and it's a crappy situation to operate in, where the only place that you are aiming for, even though I think everyone wants the division and they will say the same thing, but the place that you're living in is that wild card place for the foreseeable future with guys under contract like Manny and Bogarts and Tatis that aren't getting any younger. And you need those guys to perform and get it done now in their primes, because in 5 years from now, it's going to be a disaster for Manny and Bogarts. And that's just going to be the way of the world with the Padres, is you got 2 guys under contract that are going to be eating a lot of money, and they're going to be old.
It's not ideal. You don't want to be blocked by the team that has unlimited spending power. So that part of it isn't ideal, but it's not like the Yankees with unlimited spending power always won, or the Red Sox. Tampa has emerged in that scenario. San Diego has emerged in that scenario. You just have to be creative, which is who AJ Preller is. And you need to get into the postseason. And then they've met 3 of the last 5 years in the postseason. I mean, it's at least feasible that they can give LA a series at some point in the future again. All right. Is that good? The best and worst of the sports weekend is next on Jon and Jim. All right, hey guys, it is Jon and Jim. We've been telling you about our friends over at Hamul Casino. Tonight's a great night to get out there. Monday Night Football, great promotions all November long over at Hamul Casino on Monday nights.
Yeah, with 10 winners every hour at 7 p.m., 8 p.m., and 9 p.m. Your odds are better than ever. Plus, you can earn entries all month long by playing and getting two-time entries on Tuesdays with at least $500 in cash for all winners and a chance to win up to $25,000 in cash.
You're going to love the food options at Hamul Casino. Trust us. We've been there now. We've been there over the last few weeks. It's amazing with the Tony Gwynn Sports Pub. They've got all types of food offerings, great food and drink. All the games are on TV, including Monday Night Football here tonight. Then get there this weekend because on Saturdays, they have Saturday Surf and Turf Buffet, part of their endless dining, which is 5 nights a week. They go over the top, succulent steaks, delectable seafood, and more.
Yeah, their deck bar is great, has amazing views of the valley. Tony Gwynn Sports Pub is a great spot to catch a game, have some really good food. Their steakhouse, Emeralds is their new Chinese cuisine restaurant. Check that out. Get to Hamul Casino today. It's fun above all else.
Dave Roberts. That's it.
That's all.
Let's just say names.
No, I didn't like research this a lot. But you know how when Mookie had his podcast during that series, there was little video snippets of Mookie's podcast during the World Series with Aaron Judge. Now I don't know if this was during the World Series or if it was before the World Series or if it was like a year ago, but like previous. You didn't do the deep dive on it. If it's during the World Series, I'm done with it. Because you don't do a podcast during the World Series with your opponent, right? No, you don't. No, you don't do it the final day of the regular season either. And Aaron Judge, Cody. No. So Mookie Betts, Aaron Judge. Okay, this was a year ago.
It was a year ago.
Okay.
You just can't do it during the World Series.
But there was a clip posted by Bleacher Report 10 days ago. Aaron Judge and Mookie Betts debate Yankees versus LA or New York City versus LA.
Imagine if it was during the series, like, hey, Aaron,
Oh my
man, that play in
God.
center was rough.
Like, yeah,
Man,
bro.
right
I'm
off
glad
the
you guys won.
glove.
Glad you won the World Series, man.
Man, that was cool World Series, wasn't it? Yeah, really cool. If you're Aaron Judge, by the way, serious question. Have you slept since the World Series? I wouldn't.
No shot.
You dropped a ball hit at you. Like, there's no other way to, and you cost your team. I mean, I hate to put it so bluntly. Didn't mean to do it. If you catch the ball, you're still playing. Simple as that.
It's game 6.
Yeah, simple as that. Just catch the ball. Like it wasn't hard.
They gave the Dodgers 6 outs in that inning.
They took advantage.
You think?
You give a good team 6 outs, like they always say. They're going to take advantage.
Yes, they will.
All right, Dave Roberts has spoke on the completion. Hold on.
Let me say
Hold on, though. Dave Roberts has spoke after the end of the season to say what was the toughest challenge for the Dodgers in the postseason.
On the Mookie Betts podcast.
This was on the Mookie Betts podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, they're teammates.
I just saw this, so.
All right, let's listen.
Teammates.
Then you got San Diego, and they really kicked their ass all year.
All year.
So how were you feeling about it from your perspective?
I felt from my perspective that was the World Series. I felt that at that moment in time, when we started the postseason, they were 1 through 26, the best team.
100%.
And when you play a team as much as we played those guys, the novelty, the awe factor, that was all gone. They were no longer afraid of us.
Mm-hmm.
We're familiar. They beat us up in the regular season. So they were hungry. They hadn't won a championship. So I felt that was going to be our biggest challenge, especially in a short series.
How does that make you feel?
The reason I don't like it, I have no problem with them saying it, is they're being so truthful and honest. Like, they're not just saying it to say it. They say it because they believe it.
Mm-hmm.
When Mookie chimes in and it says 100%, they thought they were the best team in baseball, not the second best team to the Dodgers, the best team in baseball. And Mookie agreed.
How does it make you feel if you're a Yankees fan? Or if you're the Yankees? You're like, oh, okay.
Yankees, get your own house in order. I mean, you didn't play well enough to win the World Series.
Did you see the scouting report on the Yankees from the Dodgers side?
The scouting report on the Yankees from the Dodgers side? No.
Just put the ball and play the Yankees.
Oh, yes. Because their defense is so awful.
Yeah, just put the ball and play and mess up.
They're like the worst position team in the sport.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put the ball and play.
And
that worked out.
Yeah. And as Mike Ferrin said earlier today, like it was 4-2 in the NLCS, but that series was not close between between the Mets and the Dodgers. And it makes it hurt even worse that, Padres are up 2-1.
The part that sucks is they're not saying it to rub it in.
No, they're not.
It'd be easy to be like, ha ha. That's not their point. They're like, in that real moment, we're like, this is our toughest test because they truly are the best team we played, which is factual during the regular season. They had issues with the Padres, clearly. From Korea through the end of September, the Suarez triple play. What were they thinking that night in the clubhouse? They have our number, probably in that moment.
And obviously the Padres would have needed to do a lot of work to win a World Series if they got past the Dodgers. But then you're like thinking to yourself, well, if the Dodgers viewed us that way and we viewed ourselves this way as well,
then maybe we would have.
It's
definitely possible.
But I'm never going to say, I will never be that person to be like, oh, if only they beat the Dodgers, then they would have easily won a World Series.
Not easily,
no.
But they would have been. We had a day where we said the Padres were favored in Vegas. It wasn't just fans saying it. It was Vegas saying it. Mm-hmm. They would have been favored to win the World Series potentially if they went through the Dodgers. It would have been Padres Mets with home field advantage. They may have been favored to win the World Series if they got out of the DS. It just hurts because Roberts and Betts are being honest, and they're saying that the Padres they thought were the best team in baseball. Guess what? We don't know if that's going to be the case next year. To Jim's point from earlier, it's going to be hard for the Padres again next year for us all to say, man, everything's lining up beautifully.
And to replicate everything that
40
happened.
and 10 over a 50-game stretch of the second half. They're getting healthier.
All the comeback victories, the vibe,
all of that.
The Jackson Merrill.
Dodgers have injuries. Glasnow's out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ohtani's not pitching.
Yeah, Dodgers have 2 pitchers.
Yeah, exactly.
And one of them you've owned. The other one you have owned as well.
That's right. So it just hurts.
Yep. That's why this offseason is so crucial. It is so crucial, in my opinion, to keep that momentum going. You can't take a step back here. You got to take a step forward, or at least appear like you're taking a step forward and appear that you're making moves to get over that Dodger hump. It might not be for the division in the regular season, but setting yourself up for success if you get to the postseason and getting back there, and if you face the Dodgers again, which is the high likelihood that you can get past them. So you can't take a step back. You can't all of a sudden cut money and not make any moves or make signings or only going through some trades and you end up only like using guys in your system to be put into key roles. Like you got to go out and make some moves for guys that aren't in the system now, that aren't on the team to improve this roster.
They could add Blake Snell and Juan Soto. Hear me out.
That'd be nice.
They would still be a dog to the Dodgers heading into 2025.
They added Blake Snell and Juan Soto. It's like, oh, 2023, here we come again.
They could add Blake Snell and Juan Soto. They would not be the favorites. But that's what I'm saying. That's how hard it's going to be. It's not going to be an on paper favorite. They're going to just have to go do it with some magic like they had at times in 2024.
Yeah. And some of that magic involves, hey, Xander, can you actually show up?
Yep.
Can you actually have, I don't know.
Yeah, can you hit 308 for a season?
A season where you're a borderline all-star?
Yeah.
Like, can you do that? Because if you do that, that's going to help us a lot. That's going to help a lot with the losses of potentially Profar and Ha-Seong Kim and give us a guy in the lineup that can carry his own weight. Because right now, the last 2 years, you haven't done that.
I agree. All right. On the other side, one of the greatest to ever put on an Aztec basketball uniform hangs him up. You'll hear from him as well. Plus Jim's back page. It's Jon and Jim.
All right, this update's brought to you by Taco Bell. We'll start in the NFL. Dak Prescott's going to be out multiple weeks for the Cowboys with a hamstring injury. Dennis Allen was fired today as the Saints head coach after losing 7 straight after starting their season 2-0. Baseball news of the day as free agency is underway. Ha-Seong Kim declined his Padres mutual option. He is a free agent. Jurickson Profar is a free agent. The Padres did not extend a qualifying offer to Profar. And Garrett Cole, who opted out of his Yankee deal, he re-signed with the Yankees today for 4 years, $144 million. And 4 Padres are finalists for the Silver Slugger Award. Luis Arraez, Manny Machado, Jurickson Profar, and Jackson Merrill. The Gordita Supreme is back at Taco Bell in the $7 Cravings box alongside the beefy 5-layer burrito, double stack taco, chips with nacho cheese sauce, and a medium drink at participating Taco Bell stores for a limited time only while supplies last.
Hi, Jim.
Hi, John.
All right, get all the election coverage you need wherever you are with the free iHeartRadio app. Just open the app and search news. Listen on the go. iHeartRadio, always live for events that matter. Open the app and listen now. Now, tomorrow is a landmark, potentially determining the future of the country day. It is the first expanded college football playoff rankings.
Yeah, big day.
So this is something that, listen, if you have children and you're worried about their future, I'm worried too. Make sure to tune in. I think it's at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific.
Mm-hmm.
Where's Boise going to be in the initial ranking?
Yeah.
How many Big Ten and SEC teams are in the top 12?
Right. Like, how does this affect?
Huge.
How does this affect
Bronny's
Jones
legacy
and Bronny's legacy?
Right.
If
this is generations.
You have Georgia as like the 3 seed instead of the 2 seed.
That's right. So tomorrow, the first ever
big day
selection show for the expanded college football playoff. All eyes will be watching.
Yeah.
All right. So 2 years ago, we're about to get set for San Diego State basketball. You can hear every game right here on San Diego Sports 760. Ted Leitner back in the call, his final season behind the mic for SDSU Hoops. And you can listen Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Our pregame coverage is going to begin at 6 p.m. So it was 2 seasons ago that San Diego State makes this remarkable run. They had an amazing year. They made the run all the way to the national championship game. And Matt Bradley, I thought, was just phenomenal because he was so open and transparent afterwards. We'll hear what Bradley had to say in a moment. He announced yesterday on social media that he was retiring from basketball. He's 25 years of age. He was one of the best players in the country during his time in the Mesa, his 2 seasons. He led San Diego State to the tournament twice and again to a national championship game. He was their leading scorer the year they were in the national championship game. 2 years later, he announced his retirement. He wrote eloquently on his Instagram page, Jim, talking about the difficulties of COVID on him, talking about wanting to kind of put basketball behind, move on to the next phase in his life. Matt Bradley's going to go down as one of the greats to ever put on an Aztec uniform, and he's walking away from basketball at the age of 25. What was your reaction to that?
My reaction was I immediately went back to 2 years ago and the national championship game.
Mm-hmm.
And that year, Matt Bradley, after the game, had a very, very, very emotional press conference talking about how much Dutch not like saved him, but how much the program meant to him and how he was ready to walk away from basketball previous year. And he came back and he helped lead the Aztecs to a national championship game. Like, that is what, when you look at all-time tournament press conferences and stuff that kind of just like ingrained in your memory. Like, Matt Bradley is a press conference that if you're an Aztec fan, you'll remember forever.
So you're saying after the Creighton loss in the tournament, what he said after they lost his first year, or no? You're talking about what he said after the national championship game.
What he said after the national championship.
Okay, because there's 2 moments. Because I went back and watched last night. You remember after they lost to Creighton in the opening round, they blew that huge lead, 9 points with 2:30 to play. Remember that?
I remember that. Yeah.
Trey Pulliam banks in a 3. They go up 9.
Yeah.
And then they
Chad
lose
Baker
overtime.
Mazara had an amazing first half.
But Bradley was also at the free throw line with the chance to give him a lead in the final seconds, and he missed.
Yeah.
And he was so honest after that. He's like, I need to look myself in the mirror. I need to figure out, it's between the ears, basically, he said. And then a year later, he gets him all the way to the championship game. And then he had this to say post-game about his experiences on the Mesa.
When I entered the portal and came here, I was really during that time with COVID and stuff, I was really ready to just stop playing, I told myself, I was just like, you know what, Matt, it's been tough. like, let's just go home and get a job and, call it the day. You'll be all right. But, Coach Dutch, he's one of the most genuine guys I've ever met. And the way he just took me in and, the brotherhood and these guys and actually having real leadership that I can follow, it just, it changed the trajectory of my life for sure. And it's more than just basketball, sorry, I'm crying up here and stuff. But, I'm just really thankful for Coach Dutch and everybody that played a part in my move here, going to San Diego State. So, yeah, that's how I feel.
Pretty raw, emotional,
powerful.
Yeah, really powerful stuff. But Matt Bradley, again, I think about, there's been some amazing players to come through the program, but to be that raw, like to be as transparent as Matt was, as good as he was, like he was capable of scoring 25 points in a game. So I'm takeover games. He scored, I think, the first 12 points against FAU. Nick Boyd was talking about it today on the Mesa. In the Final Four, he comes out, he hits 3 consecutive threes. Like this guy was truly a brilliant scorer, And to be that open and transparent as one of the best players in the country. But then, like you said, like when you hear something like that, it shouldn't come as a surprise that 2 years later, he's walked away from the game. Like there's a lot more to Matt Bradley than just basketball. And you heard it there in that clip.
Yeah. And the great thing about him is his basketball legacy is cemented here at San Diego State.
Sure.
It's hard to walk away from something you love, but when you have something where you can always go back to and be remembered as a part of the first ever Aztec basketball team that head to a national championship game, like that 2022 team is going to be remembered forever.
Or 2023.
Sorry, 2022, 2023.
Yeah, you're right. 2022, 2023.
Yeah.
New chapters get written starting this week. San Diego State, brand new team. I mean, Reese Waters is out. It's a brand new team. You do have the same coaching staff, to guide you through this journey that starts Wednesday night at 7 p.m. against UCSD. I don't know what to expect. I watched the scrimmage the other night. Jim talked about it for 3 hours on Thursday after the Dodgers won the World Series.
Dude, that
man,
was
nobody's
so
ever broken.
difficult.
There's our lead.
Man, you broke down that scrimmage.
I didn't watch 1 second of it.
I know. I was wondering how you were doing it.
It was my lead for the show.
How did you do that show?
I don't know. I literally don't know. I have no idea. After the show, I actually
must have been exhausted.
I went home and I told Erin, I don't know how I did that today.
Was she proud of you? Did you tell her the plan?
She knew the whole bit. Okay. Like the bit of us not talking about the Dodgers at all after they won the World Series.
Was it worth it? Was the bit worth it?
Well,
did anyone really care?
So here's the funny thing. So on Instagram, I posted this video. And by the way, any Dodgers fans listening, okay? Because this station goes all the way up to LA. Like, you don't understand. I am doing this on purpose to troll you because I'm petty.
Right.
I am trolling you on purpose, and it is working 100% in our favor.
Okay.
And what we were trying to do is we were trying to gain as many views as we possibly can. And this specific video was aimed right at Dodger fans to troll them as hard as possible. I posted a video with the ending of the show on Thursday. The only time I talked about the Dodgers for 28 seconds. And I put up a picture of Kershaw with the shirt off, holding the World Series title.
Right.
Which, by the way,
is great.
It's
A
perfect.
great pick. Yeah.
And I put Dodgers win first legit World Series since 1988.
So that's on Instagram with the clip of the 28 seconds and the Kershaw picture.
Oh my God.
How many people? So what type of interaction on social media has that clip generated?
Well, right now has close to 10,000 views and over 200 plus comments of all Dodger fans calling me an idiot, which I don't care
thought it had
about
like 1,000 comments. Seriously.
No, there's another one.
Okay.
This was back when the Padres, I want to say, what date was it? It was right after they beat the Braves in the wild card round.
And we were probably talking about like bring it on or something.
Yeah. And the caption was, bring on the Dodgers. This team is not scared of anybody.
Right.
And that's what I'm talking about.
What Dave Roberts just said.
That generated over 1,000 comments from Dodger fans upset that I said that.
1,000 comments.
Over 1,000 comments right now. Over 1,000. A couple of them, just right off the bat. Let's see here. Commented to me, 2 rings and 4 pennants since 2017. Not much you could say, especially as a Padres fan.
Wait, did you reply to all 1,000?
No. Someone else. A lot of 24 innings and no runs though. LOL. Right. A lot of, well, they're scared of a World Series. Ha 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 ha.
Read all 1,000.
What a mission they went on. Manny Hustle was on a mission games 4 and 5. Go back inside your mission, Padres fans.
So they like refound this clip and are now commenting on it
because it blew up. Now, another thing that I love too.
How many views that
is that? Oh, this one has like 30,000. What I love about majority of the Dodger fans that are in the comments, very triggered about what I said.
Right.
85% of them like can't form a cohesive sentence if their life depended on it. Maybe more can't spell. I mean, 90% of Dodger fans in the comments, John,
can't spell.
Can't spell.
Yeah, but do you know what that means? 10% can.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah. It's funny. Someone said, I hate your guys' postcast. And I'm like,
I hate our postcast too, to be honest.
Like
our postcast sucks.
I replied, what's a postcast? Like that's not even like a finger slip.
Yeah.
You literally called it a postcast.
I don't know what to say about it, but
it
we'll
is
keep
funny.
trolling.
It is funny. Like a lot of these fans, I'm like, look, if you're gonna come back in the comments after being triggered, at least form a like complete sentence that has correct spelling. That's all I ask.
That's all he asked. That's all Jim is asking. Mr.
Right.
Update, Jim Russell.
Well, for me,
Mr.
I don't
English.
care. For Jim, I don't care. If you're going to troll me in the comment section, I don't care either, but at least like have it so I can read it.
Jim's back page coming up next.
Postcast.
Our Padres insider for like 7 of the month,
Kevin.
yeah, Kevin AC, is in San Antonio. Now, I was going to text
I know.
Jim on Thursday is like, the GM meetings, of course, are always in San Diego. I didn't want to bother you.
I was wearing a cardboard box in my head, right?
And I had already corrected you on something. So I'm like, I'm not going to bother him again. But anyway, Kevin is at the GM meetings.
Okay.
Now, he's not going to join us from there.
No.
But he is at the GM meetings. Would you want to be at the GM meetings? Is Marty at the GM meetings?
No.
Okay.
No. The GM meetings, nothing happens. It's just
how many GMs meet?
It's like, hey, what's up? All of them, I presume.
How do you start a GM meeting 3 days? Like the World Series just ended. How about a week?
It's been a week, John. Coming up on
No,
Wednesday.
it hasn't, man. They play Wednesday, bro.
Well, they're not meeting tomorrow, right? They're meeting Wednesday?
It started.
Oh, it started already?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
Well, maybe not.
Yeah, it's not started yet.
Well, why is he in San Antonio?
Getting ready, bro.
Okay.
Yeah, but 28 GMs have been sitting around on their ass waiting for the meetings to start.
That's true.
So.
That's true. That's true. Think Preller's going to pull off a big deal at the GM meetings in San Antonio?
No.
On the Riverwalk?
No, the Riverwalk.
Walking down the street with like Cashman.
He's like, so
hey, you want to get ice cream and maybe move Soto back to us?
Yeah, can you help us re-sign Juan Soto?
Makes no sense. Hey, are you doing qualifying offers yet? Like, what do they talk about?
Nothing.
Imagine those conversations.
I don't, because there's probably stupid. Like,
They're
hey,
probably so dumb.
like, what's your plans for the offseason?
Well, that's definitely
Yeah,
pro. Hey, what are your plans?
You going somewhere? Yeah.
No, it's probably like, hey, what do you plan to do with your roster?
Yeah, who are you going to sign?
You know he's talking about everyone.
Who you interested in? Huh?
Yeah.
No, he's not.
Oh, us too. Yeah, we like him.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, Profar sucks. And then he tries to
Yeah, you don't want Kim. Trust me, his arms all
You don't want Profar.
Yeah, you don't want Kim or Profar. Trust
It's
us.
terrible.
Yeah, nobody wants those guys.
All right. By the way, tomorrow, Wayne McKinney III, San Diego State guard, played at USD for the last 4 years. He'll join us at 3:30 tomorrow, a day before San Diego State plays UCSD in its 2024-25 opener. Right now, let's get to this.
I've mentioned this on the back page before, but just a reminder, today McDonald's is selling 10-piece McNuggets for $1 until December 2nd, one time per week, exclusive to the McDonald's app.
What does that mean? I can use it one time per week in the app?
Yes.
You can buy 10-piece chicken McNuggets one time per week until December 2nd through the McDonald's app.
If I had multiple phones,
I don't know.
You need multiple logins.
Logins.
So if
Brent and
your wife had one, set one up for
Okay.
Jones, and
What if I don't eat meat?
Well, then guess what,
eat
John?
the breading and shut
You
up.
will not be eating McNuggets.
But I can still buy them.
You can buy them for
10 for $1.
Has Jones eaten meat yet?
Yeah, but don't you eat eggs?
I do.
That's kind of like chicken.
It's different. I'm not a vegan. You're
comes
right.
From a chicken.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Jones has eaten pepperoni pizza by mistake.
And did he throw
and
up?
He had a chicken
Greatest
sandwich at school.
mistake of his life.
He had a chicken sandwich because he didn't know you could ask for a non-meat option, so he just got the hot lunch, they call it. He's like, "Mom, I ate a chicken sandwich."
Did he love it, or did he feel like sick?
I think he felt bad about it.
Okay.
The pepperoni pizza, he said, tasted better than pizza.
Well, yes, Sean. That's what.
So I'm like,
It
well, it is
typically
pizza,
does.
but yeah.
But it's pepperoni pizza, which you never had.
Anyway, he's back to a tofu diet.
How does that feel that your son has had pepperoni pizza more times in his life than you have, and he's 5?
Are you jealous?
No, I'm fine. I'm fine with it.
Okay. Okay. Dr. Pepper, John, has overtaken Pepsi to become the second most popular soda in the United States, only trailing the #1 spot at Coca-Cola.
Is it because of the football throw at halftime of the bowl games?
I don't know.
The
It's Dr. Pepperville.
scholarship toss or whatever. They do a nice job marketing to football
They
fans,
do.
specifically
College football especially.
Yeah, college football, they really do.
But this
That's
has to do with like taste and like what people prefer.
Well, it's like
I don't mind Dr. Pepper.
And there's already an option like Coke. It's Coke. So like Dr. Pepper is different than Coke and Pepsi.
Yeah, and Coke, by the way, the Pepsi doesn't even compare to Coke.
No.
I like Pepsi, but
Oh, you're saying taste wise?
taste wise,
Okay.
Coke has that different
Yeah.
flavor, different taste to it. And if you get
Definitely.
the like Mexican Cokes, Oh my
Yes,
god,
Kristen loves those. Yeah,
those are so good.
yeah.
See, I'm weird. I like Pepsi more than Coke, but I like Coke Zero more than Pepsi.
Oh, interesting.
Okay,
Where is Fanta on that list?
John Fanta,
No, like the soda.
not on the list, John. I only know the top 3.
Isn't there a new Sprite or something? Or it's not Sprite, but it's called something else.
Yeah, the
Starry or
Oh,
whatever.
Starry. Is that the Pepsi Sprite?
Yes,
sure.
that replaced Sierra Mist.
Is that? There's no way people are buying that.
I doubt it.
No.
Starry. Give me a break.
Yeah, no. Cheetos.
Hey
is,
guys, want to go get Starries? Like
Dude,
nobody's
get
ever
some
said
Starries,
that,
bro.
Let's go to the movies and get some Starries.
Cheetos is releasing a new Flamin' Hot Dill Pickle Chip.
That sounds good.
Flamin' Hot Cheetos fans are in for a treat with an upcoming release that's causing major buzz online. A bold new dill pickle flavor.
Okay.
I don't know about that one. They say that the dill pickle flavor is tentatively to be released at the start of 2025.
Soon.
So soon-ish.
What do you got, bro?
I have the top 9. Fanta was 8.
Is Starry on there?
No, sadly, Starry isn't. Yeah, Coke was 1. Dr. Pepper and Pepsi were tied for 2. It says Sprite was 3. Diet Coke was 4. Mountain Dew was 5. Coke Zero, yay, was 6. Then Diet Pepsi, Fanta, and Canada Dry Ginger Ale was 9.
Okay.
And this story popped up on my timeline. I think it's an old story, but I never said it. A uncrustable oil painting sold for $5,000
That's hilarious.
So Noah Verheer, a 44-year-old artist from Tallahassee, Florida, recently purchased a box of Uncrustables, which inspired him to create a oil painting of the sandwich. He spent 2 days on the artwork, which he later auctioned for nearly $5,000. He gained recognition on social media for his still life paintings of junk food, including cheesesteaks, dinosaur-shaped chicken nuggets, and hot dog. So, whoever bought this oil paint for $5,000, congratulations, you have a Uncrustable oil paint.
I like that you said that, like Tallahassee. Before you leave, next to one thing. Oh, okay, Tallahassee, Montana. What are you gonna say? F-U daylight savings. Yeah, you're so mad about this. It's like it's not new. It's not new. Twice a year. I have to continue to reiterate how much I hate daylight savings. Okay, that's all I got. All right, we're back tomorrow at 3 p.m. If you missed anything, you're lucky. For Jim, I'm John. Keep it